and welcome to OSW Review, the old school wrestling video podcast. This is not that, we are so far away from that, but what we've got here, move over Black Knife Tish, it's your boy, Black Knife Quiche, Jay Hunter, and the third Elden Lord, OC. And the loathsome dung eater.
I knew I was going to be the dung eater. I knew I was waiting for it. And the fearsome, loathsome dung eater. Spouting shite for 12 plus years. What's the crack?
It's OSW Elden Ring Deep Dive, and it's coming up right now. V1, sir, how are you doing, sir? What's the crack with you?
I'm doing fabulous. I have been playing Elden Ring for weeks now and having the time of my life. It's brilliant.
Oh, excellent. And OSC, sir?
Exactly the same. And you?
Yes, and make that a threesome. I don't know. But listen, you would ask us, why are we recording a big review on Deep Dive? Because in the first time in OSW history, we are all playing the same game at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And possibly last.
Because usually with all the video game reviews, it's me and you. We covered like The Last of Us 2 and Resident Evil 8 and that kind of thing. Or even Crash 1, which is me shouting at you for making me play Crash 1. I suppose overall this is part one of a two-part review, because I'm sure at some point we'll be back for Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yeah, considering it's going to be bigger than a regular game, it probably deserves another review.
Yeah.
So I have just finished the main game, and you know, I spent my time doing it because I did a lot of side quests as well, so I'm about 180 hours in. V1.
Just over halfway through my New Game Plus playthrough. My first playthrough took about 90 hours, and I'm about 120 hours in.
Okay, and OC?
First playthrough was 70 hours. Second playthrough, I sneakily finished it this morning at about...
No!
Yeah.
Without me! How could you?
About 8:30 this morning.
Wow.
With the platinum, thank you very much. And this was about 250 hours. So total 320.
Oh my god.
I think what I'm most looking forward to, Jay thinks he can say something that I don't already know about Elden Ring. He thinks he has 6 things that I won't know.
Easy. Easy.
Can't see it happening.
No. So what have we got in this video? We have a deep dive with different sections. We got lore, gameplay, bosses, the world, endings, things that are so freaking cool, improvements, grievances, and fun things like out of bounds, kayfabe questions, and YouTube recommendations. Freshen your flask of fabulous physic, cause we're going in deep. Sorry, one last thing before we start. Doing a deep dive this size requires an avalanche of expert artists, animators, musicians, video editors, sound engineers, game players, and YouTubers far more talented than I. Please visit the description box for links to all of these wonderful creators.
So I'm not a big video gamer, but the game is called the Elden Ring, and it's a sequel to a video game that came out a few years ago called Dark Souls, and it came out of Japan.
Making of, and it's time for your main event. From Software's magnum opus, their first ever open world game. A simple ask but daunting task: do Dark Souls but open world. It's 2017. After releasing the final piece of DLC for Dark Souls 3,
The Ringed City,
FromSoft began work on Elden Ring alongside Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Amazing Sekiro, kind of a holdover game whilst Elden Ring was being made. Actually, that's just facetious there about being done at the same time. You know what I mean. Influences range from Lord of the Rings, obviously, Michael Moorcock's Eternal Champion series, tabletop RPGs like RuneQuest, and the Berserk manga, which is much like FromSoft's other titles. But the world was built by George R.R. Martin. Oh my god. Of Game of Thrones fame, the insanely popular book series and HBO TV show, apart from season 7. Director Hidetaka Miyazaki looked to Hollywood for his world building. He said sod it and tried his hand, contacted George R.R. Martin, flew out to America, first meeting him in a hotel in his hometown. In an interview with Edge magazine, Miyazaki said about George Martin,
he actually knew about the Dark Souls games. He was aware of them and what they were about, so that made me happy. That's surprising.
Gonna call bollocks on.
Yeah. But George wouldn't be the writer of the game. That would be too constraining, as it'd have to fit in whatever FromSoft create. Miyazaki wanted his ideas and fantasies to flourish, so George created the mythos, the world before the player enters it. So George would make the world, and Miyazaki would destroy it. After almost 5 years and $200 million later, Elden Ring was released February 22nd, 2022 upon the world. By the way, you can tell George Martin wrote the backstory. What's with everyone having the same name?
Yes.
Fuck off! Melania, Blade of Miquella, Melina, not Melania, Queen Marika, Margit, Morgoth, Moog, Lord of Blood, aka Mogwin, Pastor of House Muriel, Millicent, Nevermind the Merchants, Moongrum, Malay Marae, Malekith, Preceptor Miriam, and Mad Tongue Alberic. Imagine trying to hunt down one of those mugs with your initial on it.
And that's before you get into the or names.
Or so hence Radagon, Renala, Rani, who introduces herself as Rena, Radan, Rickard. King Radagon and Queen Renala had 3 kids, Donic, Eric and Basil. So Rani, Radan and Rickard. So unless your name starts with an M or an or, you're a commoner. J Hunter, V1, Mr. OC. But what is the story?
The fallen leaves tell the story of how a tarnished became Elden Lord.
Our story starts in the lands between. It's like George R. Martin, he really wanted to call it Middle Earth. The lands between. Get out! We kick off with not a cutscene, but with a what culture still picture in pan. Great guys.
Queen Marika rules the roost with her all-powerful Elden Ring. And Godfrey, the first Elden Lord and her lover, won a big battle, the war against the giants, and established the Golden Order to worship her. He and his army were stripped of their grace, their powers, and ordered to leave the lands between. A bit mean, but said you can have it back after you die. They were exiled, and so they were the first tarnished. They set up shop in the Badlands, and Godfrey became their chieftain, calling himself Horaloo. The inciting incident was the Night of the Black Knives, where Marika's son Godwyn was murdered. In anger, Marika destroyed the Elden Ring, shattering it into large shards. The large shards are super powerful, so Marika's kids, demigods all, rushed to grab them. The extreme power turned them a bit mental, and this situation blew up into a big war that lasted decades. Like Melania taking on Radan in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Scintillating.
It was a draw.
So who was Brett and who was Sean?
Well, he went over, so she has to be Sean.
Okay.
Okay.
The girlhood dream.
Very good.
To restore the Golden Order, grace was returned, meaning all the dead tarnished live again, beckoned to the lands between, accumulate all the shards, and become the new Elden Lord.
Well done.
Excellent, yeah. So what is a tarnished? An undead soldier returning to the lands between with the purpose of becoming Elden Lord and bringing balance to the Force. Just about this kind of world building and lore and how they tell it to you. It's like, I love this type of storytelling. It's all implied. Like, you can tell there's a lot going on in the world, but you're not explicitly told it. The cutscenes of this game that you can spend hundreds of hours on total less than 100 minutes. You glean it from the settings, the materials used, the state of repair or disrepair of the buildings, what bodies are strewn about, who now inhabits it, the teeny item descriptions and brief interactions with the few people who happen to still be alive. So, for example, you rock up to Castle Morn, the battlefield strewn with corpses and broken battlery, these hideous humanoid creatures scavenging remains and celebrating their victory over what used to be guards. These are the misbegotten, and they were servants of Castle Morn, Originally, they were thought as divine as they served the Great Tree. Then the Golden Order took over, who served the Erd Tree, and denounced those worshipping the old ways and enslaved them. Now that the Golden Order are broken, a full-scale rebellion took place, murdered the encampment, and the servants are now running Castle Morn. And that's why you fight the creatures in a castle and not soldiers. But you're only told the first line of that by some blinded woman on the side of a street.
Yeah.
The rest I had to look up. But like, isn't that awesome?
Yep.
You can go as deep as you want on it.
But there are still soldiers in Castlemore, I thought. There's a few, but it's overrun.
They're
yeah,
toast, yeah.
It's amazing. It's like from the moment that your Tarnished comes into the world until the credits roll, there's no plot. Like your plot is, I'm going to kill everyone, I'm going to get the bits and bobs, and I'm going to win. It's like you're moving up the ladder in a Mortal Kombat and take on the different bosses. So like there's no plot, but there's novels of lore and background context. And so, there's as much as you want to delve into. But on your first playthrough, like I had no clue what I was doing. No fucking clue. Because VatiVidya hadn't brought out all the more videos yet.
And we haven't even mentioned that you're given like implied story by the incredible character design. Like just looking at the characters, they're poised to intrigue you, to inflame your interest. Like your maiden Melina, why is one of your eyes closed? And why do you have like a skeleton hand over you and there's 3 fingers on it? What's happening there? Melania, why are you picking up your arm and putting it on? What's that about? Radagon, I could swear in your cutscene you had breasts. What's going on? It's all top-notch mythos and works really well because since it's open world, you won't be fed information in a linear manner. So you just have pockets of info and lore.
But another way that I love the way it's optional. So you can play the game like an action game, or you can play the game like a role-playing game, or you can do a little bit of both. And I love how you pick up anything, any item basically, and it has a little bit of lore. If you can read it there, it's 3 lines. You can read it if you want, and you can move on if you want. And yeah, certainly for me, first playthrough, I don't care. Second playthrough, I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
Oh, a dogged fellow, aren't we? Or is it merely thy habit to talk to dolls? Fine.
Gameplay/controls. Unlike Zelda, which usually has minigames like fishing, shooting gallery, or wrangling cuckoos, Elden Ring has one. Combat. Combat for breakfast, combat for lunch, combat for dinner, combat for dessert. Different classes, different attacks, same goal. Murderize everyone in your way. Blood build, flame build, frenzy build, samurai. The well goes deep. What did you make of the gameplay? Did you enjoy that?
Yes, I fucking did. But just in terms of the point of the game is combat, what is fascinating and still somewhat confusing is why does literally everything want to kill you? I'm still not 100% clear on that. Like, okay, there's maybe 10 people who are NPCs and they won't try and attack you. But otherwise, you're just walking through minding your own business. Everyone is trying to kill you. But I saw a video, it was quite funny. So in one of the quests, you get Horalu's daughter to be the new queen of Limgrave. I'm not
Nephili?
Nepheli Lou, yeah. And everyone's really happy with you. This is fantastic. We have a new ruler. We're going to bring a little bit of order to the land. And you walk back and people are still trying to kill you. And there's a guy made a video where he was waving at people, in the game, waving at the enemies like, hey guys. Or, But, okay, so gameplay. It's difficult, but unbelievably rewarding. Every move you make is critical. If you do anything wrong, you're going to get hit. You might get lucky. You might go to hit somebody, you miss, and they happen to miss, but it's rare. So you have to plan your moves. It's like a game of chess. You need to find openings. You need to know weaknesses. You need to know when your opponents, whether they be a huge boss or a demi-human, the lowest of the low enemy, they can still kill you pretty quickly. So you need to know how to avoid their attacks and counter. And it's just an amazing dance. There's an element of a rhythm game to it, but I'm trying to give it just. I'm trying to say the right words to explain how amazing it feels to kill even the smallest enemy when you start out in the game, where you don't think you can. It's like no other experience in a video game. I can't really explain it more than that.
Do you mean Souls game or Elden Ring?
I'm talking about Souls games, but
Okay.
Elden Ring is part of that. But yeah, it's very much quintessential Souls game combat.
I think this is more fun than some of the older games in the series. I think they've made small changes that have a big impact on how it's played. And I think the second gameplay, with maybe the one exception being Sekiro, because that's so fast, I would say it's more fun than most of the other Souls games.
Yes, it is a quicker combat than Dark Souls 1 and 2. I suppose it's on par with Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3.
Okay. So OC has played all of the FromSoft and most of the Souls-like genre by this point. V1, you played most of the FromSoft games.
Yeah.
And I'm a new person. This is my first single-player Souls-like and first FromSoft game. And when I, picked it up and playing it, I was like, big bang at MMORPG. Because, do you know when you move the left analog stick and your player whirls around? It was like big open world Warcraft bollocks here.
Running around jumping.
Yes. Yeah, the speed is very much associated with it. You do need it because, your controls have to be precise. Unlike in single-player games where it's a bit weightier. It is needed, I'll stress that, but it does feel weird. Horseback is also quite fiddly. But it is more accurate than jumping yourself because you get a second jump in there and reach platforms directly underneath you. Side points, your horse is called Torrent and you give it seeds. And so you got to keep that ratio up.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't even know that you could feed him. What does that do?
Yeah.
Can you
upgrade
him?
It saves you a flask of Crimson Tears.
Yeah, ups his health,
okay. So you can just get his health back. Okay.
Yeah. Elden Ring is one of those games where every button is used. And when you're fighting a boss, that gets frustrating. Because I'm running away from these heat-seeking golden missiles, move left with your left thumb, and then you're running with circle. In the heat of battle, I physically can't. I don't have another thumb with which to use the right stick to see if he's doing his big slash attack at the same time.
Oh, yeah. You can tell that this is Jay's first Souls game because you haven't become one with the claw. So
only Magna, Steve.
Yeah. So obviously you hold it in your left hand. Do you have a joypad here?
Go for it, Steve.
Okay. I've gotten.
I'll just need you to record your hands later on in the game.
JJ's pad.
Yeah.
So normally, you're playing like this, and then if you need to take your thumb off the right analog to press buttons, that's what you do. But in this, you can't because you have to circle enemies. And so you need to be in control of your camera. So that's when you need to claw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Claw hold.
So you've moved your index finger down.
I've seen some people do this, which is just crazy for me. But yeah, you need to move your fingers down. Then that means that you can have control of the face buttons while still having the thing and your finger for the triggers.
This is like learning guitar.
This is
stretching your fingers.
And this is very much just a Dark Souls kind of thing. I don't think I ever did it in a game prior to playing Bloodborne, which was my first Souls game.
I think that's much more of an issue with a large enemy because that's when you want to lock off. If you're locked on, it's fine. You lock on and you don't need to touch the right analog stick. But if you're fighting a large enemy and you're underneath them, like a dragon,
the camera goes
insane.
Yeah.
You need to lock off. In those situations, you need to be creative.
Yeah.
Just button-wise, we do have contextual buttons, like jump back is circle, but hold circle is run. So you can get a bigger jump.
I love that.
So you'll be on a platform and then you want to run to the next one, but instead you press it and you jump back off.
And then the fucking lift goes up, and then when you want to get your runes back, you have to run all the way back in. You have to pull the lever and you have to wait for the thing. There's never been a more punishing series.
I know.
It's great, isn't it?
Can I give you a hint you may not know? What you can do is you can jump in the air. While you're in the air, hold circle, land, then start walking forward. You'll instantly be sprinting.
Yeah.
So if you've got no space to start a sprint, you can jump, hold sprint, then you can sprint when you land.
Oh, very good.
That was a trick that was used in Bloodborne a lot.
Oh, okay.
I think.
But you don't jump in
maybe
Bloodborne.
No, you don't jump Bloodborne.
This is the first FromSoft game you jump, right?
Yeah. Well, Sekiro.
Sekiro.
But I consider them separate anyway, but yeah.
This game, when I was playing it, I was like, man, keyboard and mouse players must have it so much better. Because even if you have a magic build, as opposed to pressing up to get whatever, they could just press one button. Yep. You know, maybe we could get some kind of Daytona foot pedals, you know, and have that as an extra button. Could you map that, you know? Question, did you play online?
Only for the reason of getting to the bird farm in Mogwin Palace.
Oh,
you need to go
play
online to get halfway through Var's Quest to give you access to Mogwin Palace.
That's incorrect. Because you can do the PvP portion of it by going to, you know where the Great Pot is in the northern part of Caelid?
Oh, with the three
With
invasions?
the 3 fights.
Yeah.
If you fight those, they are counted as PvP.
I didn't know that.
Despised PvP, and very early on in my first playthrough, I actually turned it off. So I didn't have, you know, like player messages in the world or anything, but I also didn't have people jumping into my world because that's misery.
This game incorporates online elements, like you can leave and read notes written by other players, or see silhouettes of other players and them dicking around. I hate it. I think it's visual noise. I want to get lost in Elden Ring's world, not be constantly reminded that some other assholes from the internet have already been there. How does that even work in kayfabe? Like, is there some kind of multiverse bullshit with alternate Elden Ring lords and whatever? Do you know?
That's an interesting point, because they go to a lot of effort to not break kayfabe. You know, the fact that you die and are reborn or whatever. In every FromSoft game, they give a reason for it.
Yeah.
So they pretend that you're not playing a video game, but it's immersion breaking.
The other big thing is you can get invaded by players from these other worlds where you duel to the death or the invader leaves. The bitterest pill to swallow is that even if you turn all the online elements off, you still get invaded just by the computer. And I was like, how dare you stop my game to have a fight?
When you're like pelting along on torrent and then all of a sudden you are forced off in the middle of a field and you know it's coming and it's like, oh shit. And then this bitch with 2 fucking meat cleavers starts coming at you. Oh no.
Question for you. Do you like open world?
Yes.
And how did you find it in Elden Ring? Because this is their first open world game.
I absolutely fucking loved it. I thought one of the things that I didn't particularly like about these earlier Souls games, and even though you had options, it wasn't like a pure linear, you're going through a corridor and you can't do anything else. There were options in the other Souls games, but I wanted to see the world. And in those games, you could go there or you could go there.
And the paths will eventually merge again.
Yeah.
So it's like a false choice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in Elden Ring, you walk out, and that's one of the best moments in the game, I thought. You walk out into Limgrave and you're like, wow, it looks like I can go anywhere.
You're like, it's so big. And you don't have a clue how big it is. Like every time you get to a new place and the map grows, like my mind was blown just constantly.
Yeah,
but
like Limgrave is big. Limgrave could be a game.
Yeah.
Including Stormvale Castle. But I thought it was done so well in that you can see everything. You know, that's the thing. Like, I think it was in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. If you see it, you can go there. And in Elden Ring, it's true as well. It might take you a lot of effort, but you see that mountain there? Yeah, you can get to the top of that. Amazing.
How fitting, actually. All right, at the start of the game, like we get pretty much the Breath of the Wild intro where you're in a cave, open the door, and you go out and you just take in the beautiful vista, a sprawling, expansive world to get lost in. And you see the Earth Tree. It's the landmark, so you always have your bearings. What direction is the Earth Tree in? And how big is it? How close are you to it? The ever-present, ever-looking goal in mind. Fantastic world design.
Yeah.
And after Zelda, because I played Tears of the Kingdom earlier in the year, and then this, I realised open worlds, I don't like it. Being able to go anywhere is both freeing, but inhibits the feeling of progress. Like, wandering into places above your current level is cool, but you're always going into a fight wondering if you're under-leveled. And then you have to flee from the fight, and you just feel like a big failure. And then I'm 50 hours into the game, and then I minimize it, and oh yeah, your 13% of the game is done. Do you know?
But that's not accurate, because you could have done a huge amount of side content to level up that doesn't contribute to the 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is like a false kind of negative thing. So I was going into this as someone who had played Bloodborne and Sekiro and Dark Souls 1 at the time, and I loved them. And I was genuinely worried that the open world nature was going to take away what I love about these games. Not scripted, but kind of tightly woven Ludo narrative of you going on a quest, I was like, is that going to be lost because, you say left and I say right, you say great and I say shy. Yeah. I was so glad to be completely wrong because I think the open world nature of this was done so well. It's so incredible. That feeling of freedom and the ability to go where you want and do what you feel like doing is incredible. I don't think any game has gotten this right ever. And I don't think there's any going back. Like, I don't think if Miyazaki is going to bring out Bloodborne 2 or Dark Souls 4, it probably has to be open world because it will feel like going back in time. It will feel restrictive,
Small point, to generate such a gigantic game world, systemic procedures were used to cut down on the grunt work. Miyazaki says,
a simple example would be the creation of something that exists in vast quantities in the world, such as trees and vegetation. A lot of this we could employ using a more procedural system for vegetation to generate trees and handle their placement that accounted for about 80% of that task. And then our artist would go in and sort of add the finishing touches by hand. So this was a really nice new workflow to work with. That makes perfect sense to me. I mean, everything looked original, but if you got a tree over here and there's a tree over there, we're okay if they're very, very similar. You don't need to handcraft each one. It's fine.
That also happens in the real world. I'm not a tree doctor. I can't tell the difference between that tree and that tree. You know what I mean? So
racist. Look at it.
It's racist.
Like, I don't want to sound racist, but all caves look alike. You got your bog standard caves, your crystal caves, your tunnels, then your graves and catacombs. And all catacombs look alike. You go down a bit and there's a stone sword key door that houses the boss. Somewhere else there's a big lever going on. Like, after the first few, are you looking up on Extra Life? What's the prize at the end?
Just on your point about the open world, and you don't want to have your hand held, but you want a little bit of direction. I do love that on the map, the sites of grace will generally point you where you're supposed to go.
Yes.
So you can ignore everything else and just follow that path and you'll finish the game. But on the catacombs and caves, first playthrough, I probably did 4 of them because Fexter Life said there's an item in there. And I said, I need that item to beat a boss.
Wow.
So
I
I'm
did
going
most of them
into
in my
that cave.
first playthrough.
Second playthrough, I did every single one. But yeah, absolutely agree. I just running through this, pulling the switch for the boss door, going back to the grace, resting and running in and fighting the boss. There was a handful of interesting catacombs / caves, but yeah, it was more about, I can't wait to get that talisman at the end of it.
It's more the destination than the journey there. Yeah. And it is fair enough. Like, being a modular kind of generated world means that there's 53 caves and 20 catacombs, all optional. Yeah, so the take home here is that Elden Ring, this world, is an incredible feat, a milestone. It's sad, but it's beautiful. It's dank, but has a tale to tell. And this is now an untenable standard that other games companies will have to be measured against.
That point that you make there is something that I felt playing it. Playing this game had moments and feelings in it that only happen every so often in the history of gaming, where either this becomes the standard bearer for this genre in which all games going forward are going to be compared to, like, Street Fighter 2, all fighting games that came out after that, you've got to be as good or better. Super Mario 3, boom. Super Metroid for Metroidvania games.
Oh, you can't be saying that word.
Half-Life 2 for first-person shoot-'em-ups, Mario 64 for 3D platformers, Ocarina of Time for kind of like
action RPG.
Yeah,
Metal Gear Solid for stealth games.
Yeah. So like this to me
which,
is
which FIFA was the?
I wanted to say FIFA, but it would be FIFA International Soccer.
Okay, so playing the game. First things first, pop in the disc, install the game, close the game, open up YouTube, Go to Extra Life's Elden Ring Classes Guide and determine what type of character you're going to be, depending on how you like to play the game. I chose astrology as I like doing damage from afar before physically engaging enemies. Hopefully it never gets to that. Then you go to Vata Video's Get Overpowered Early video, links to all of these in the description by the way, and follow the steps to get a good footing in the game before starting the game proper. Because you want a challenge, you want a temporary red traffic light, not a brick wall. But just on Vati, his videos are, look what I did in 2 hours. And I'm like, that's you, mate. Having played the game for 300 hours and having thousands of hours of Soulsborne knowledge, under your belt. So new players don't get discouraged. Like, I am not as versed, because I go around and I was like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? And so his guide took me like 8-9 hours, which is longer than the entire Resident Evil 7 or 2.5 Resident Evil 3 remakes.
Just to start the game.
Yes.
I was the same. It took me 10 hours to start the game.
So follow Vati, then as an additional, if you're an astrologer, in Caelid you can get a meteorite staff and just bang it. Be good.
I'm so jealous of you guys, by the way. Yeah.
You didn't do this?
I bought this game on the day it came out.
Yeah.
And my first time playing it, I was playing it on Twitch. I was so hyped. I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And I did the opening cave bit and I was parrying. I was killing people on the first go. Soldier of Godric, suck my dick, mate. You're a bitch. And then you get out into the world. Okay, this big tree, I'm going to go there. There's a big fella on a horse. I'm going to fucking smash him out of it. 2 hours. Just
brick walled it.
Just brick wall.
Did you get him?
No. I think I came back when I was like level 40 or something and beat him, Then I headed up to the castle. Getting there was fine. And then when you first get in, there's like the lads firing bolts and then like a troll jumps down. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like the biggest boss ever. So
Bitch ass troll enemy.
Oh my God. And so I probably spent about 40 minutes trying to beat him, probably like 10, 15 goes. And then I make my way up the side of the cliff. You go and you talk to Melina and you get Torrent. And then I got up to Margit, who was the first boss. Just second brick wall. So my first experience playing this was I can't even call them brick walls. I would just have to call them cliffs. And just got absolutely crushed. So much so that I thought I was just shit at the game and I put it away. And I didn't play it again for about 3 months. Which is when I came back to it, when people knew kind of what to do. And then the guys on Twitch told me that I have to go to the castle in the south and then use that to get some levels. And that's when I got absolutely sucked in. So my first experience with this game was misery.
I think that's the
intended experience.
Yeah,
it is.
It is. It's go to Margit and then it forces the player to go somewhere else.
I genuinely think that the opening horse and trek up to Margit and that boss fight is as good of a teaching tool in games as, say, Super Mario Bros. 1-1, where you go left and you can't. So then you learn that you have to go right. Yeah. Then there's a fucking mushroom, and if you run into him,
Goomba,
you die. And then you go back again and you go right, and then you learn to jump on him. And then the chances are that in the time it takes you to get to him and jump, you will accidentally hit one of the bricks and you get the mushroom. And so that teaches you to jump under things and hit them. So like this is that just on a much grander scale. It teaches you don't have to follow the set path. Go and do your own thing, level up, do it at your own pace and tackle it when you're ready for it. Question for you. So when you were doing that, had you guys been to other areas of the map before you began to play the game? And so were those kind of shocks taken from you?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. By no means late game stuff, but I think you see Caelid early.
Yeah. I was worried when I was doing this. Am I seeing too much of the game? And the answer is yes and no, because there's still a lot more you haven't seen. However, I was really sad that I had Muriel, the Turtle Pope, spoiled on me. I was like, oh, why couldn't you just say go to this Church of Vows? Why'd you have to say this cool dude is in there? And show him to me. Oh, I'm blurring him out so you can't see who it is because, oh my God, he's so cool.
He is adorable, actually. He is.
Oh, see, what class did you choose?
First played through Vagabond, and this was purely, as you were alluding to, Google, what class should a Souls beginner choose in Elden Ring? It was either Vagabond or Samurai. I went with Vagabond. I should have gone with Samurai, because with Samurai you're given a katana and a longbow. Both are which are really, really good early game weapons. Probably the best early game weapons. But I went with Vagabond and he just has a random sword. So Google, can I get a katana? Straight beeline for the catacomb. I think it's in Weeping Peninsula where you can get the katana, and got a katana.
Okay.
You suggested, hey Jay, look at Iron Pineapple's guide for astrology, build up intelligence and mind, i.e. kind of magic strength mana bar, and which is charitably described as a glass cannon, as in I'll smash you from afar until you touch me and then I die. So my biggest advice is to upgrade vigor alongside this, so because you need to be able to eat a few hits in combat. And your keepsake, choose the golden seed.
Always golden seed.
Because it gives your flask an extra refill. Super handy starting off. I hear Wretch is the best starter, as it's the most malleable and how to choose an upgrade.
It just looks like shit because I think doesn't have armor maybe, but yeah, it's got 10 in each stat. So it's you don't know what you want to do. It's a good way to
the smorgas build. When you just put points into everything kind of evenly.
Yeah.
What did you choose?
I knew that I wanted to have a melee build. I started off as the Inquisitor because I thought the name was cool. I think I'd start off with more health, and I was so worried about dying that's why I chose that.
The Inquisitor, did you think you'd be from Red Dwarf? And you'd have the hat, and you take it off, and you're Rimmer?
Oh, Smeg.
Oh, Smeg indeed, matey.
Can I give out about this Elden Ring, and this goes for RPGs in general? You have to learn fucking English to play the game. Ye old RPG. What's vigor? What's resistance to robustness in the context of the game? All I know is that Simpson and Sons revitalizing tonic, it's good for robust health. But that's not good to me. Can I try you out with some definitions?
Yep.
Okay, first, what's runes?
Money, currency.
Yeah, XP. You can buy stuff with it or level up. What's a flask of cerulean tears?
Replenish your FP bar.
Flask, crimson tears.
HP bar.
Flask of wondrous physic.
It's the little buffs where you can add your different tiers in to mix and match and get buffs.
And what's a buff?
Well, a buff is make yourself stronger magic, or make yourself take less damage, etc., etc.
Just a temporary increase in
it's
these stats.
Positive effect to your character.
Yes.
Okay.
Whereas a debuff is a negative.
All right. Okay. Move you to medium here. Armor deals with reducing the damage you take when someone hits you. So they call that damage negation. Fair enough. Why is physical damage different than slash damage or strike damage?
Strike and slash is a form of physical damage. Depending on the armor you're wearing, you can be weaker or stronger to certain types of physical damage.
I would imagine that rings true for real armors in the real world. Some would be more resistant to slashing weapons. Some would be more resistant to thrusting weapons.
For example, if you're fighting a big knight, instinctively you're not going to go at him with a katana, but you're going to whack him with a hammer. It's going to do more damage.
With a fucking hammer.
Fucking hammer. Do you know where you're going to end up? Galway.
So, armor, physical damage, strike damage, how is it calculated?
There is an equation, but I don't know it. But I feel like this is one of the 6 things that you're going to enlighten me on, Jay.
Yes, damage negation is the average of physical and type of damage.
Okay, this is a level of nerdery that is very
Two.
unnecessary.
It's important.
Yes.
Tell me.
A plus B over 2. So it'd be physical damage plus slash damage divided by 2.
Oh, and then same for strike. So it's only ever 2 elements that you're averaging out. Okay,
exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Very good.
Okay.
Well done.
Now, we're on the hard mode. You're looking at your armor build, okay? What is resistance of immunity?
Immunity, poison and rot.
Yeah, so you would say that it is the ability to withhold the speed of the level of build-up of the bar before you become infected, yeah?
Excellent.
Yes.
Smashing it!
What is robustness?
That's blood frost. That blood
size of your
frost.
tits.
Is this some kind of bust?
Well, it's very impressive, yes, but we need to ask you a few questions.
It is...
Blood and frost.
You're correct. Well done. Well done. Focus is resistance to...
Steve.
This sounds like magic build stuff, is it?
if you're taking opponents would do
sleep.
that against you. Bang.
Ah.
Yeah, and
Sleep
don't tell
and-
me frenzy.
Madness. Yeah.
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
same
Yes,
thing.
very good.
Okay.
Vitality.
That's the amount of health that.
No.
that you have.
The resistance. Here, resistance.
Vitality, resistance.
Oh.
He's lost, man. He's lost.
Yeah, this is nerdery levels that I did not go into at all.
Wait.
Okay, go on.
Wait. Tell. Okay.
So
okay.
vitality and HP are not the same thing, is it?
Vigor
It's-
is HP.
Vigor is HP. So
Yeah.
is vitality the amount of health that you would lose
No.
per strike
We're
or something?
talking. We're talking about
You are very,
resistances
very
here.
close. Literally, you're one word off that.
The amount of health you will lose when you proc something like bleed or frostbite or something like
What's the word proc mean?
that. When it builds up, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the amount of health you lose when you do have the disease, like blood rot, poison, frostbite.
Anything.
Yeah. So
Vitality covers all these status effects.
in resist. Yeah.
Once was lost, but now is found.
You fucking looked into that, Steve.
You backdoored into it. And poise is
Poise is your resistance to stagger. So where you get hit with big, heavy weapons, you will stagger a lot more than if you were hit with a dagger. Also, it's your resistance to getting knocked back while you're in the process
Yes.
of hitting an enemy. It's massively important.
Not
Always
getting-
try and keep it at 51.
51. Yeah,
minimum.
Not getting knocked out of your animation.
Yes.
Really, really important.
yeah. Well done, lads. Well done. Well done.
Look at us.
Fool of
I
bus.
know.
Because I was over 100 hours in when I realised you can look up the explanation bar and it'll tell you. There's plenty of screen real estate to tell you. You know, you only need a quick line.
It's great, but there's not that much in the in-game. You know, like your HUD when you're playing the game is quite clean.
Yeah.
There were pictures there that leaked a while ago of the Suicide Squad game, and it was just a fucking mess. The amount of real estate of your screen that is used up by markers and highlights and boxes and everything, it's gross. And this goes the completely opposite way, and it's quite nice.
It's enough, though. There's enough. If you want to just play the game, there's enough information there.
Yeah.
Okay. Question for you. What was your loadout for your early kind of mid? Like what weapons did you use often?
Okay, so very early on in Limgrave, you can come to one of the first ever jails.
It's like spelt in the Irish way, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
GAOL.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you take on the Bloodhound Fang guy. I think it's like Darryl.
Darryl, yeah.
Oh,
He was such a cunt early in the game. Sorry, he was such a fucker early in the game.
I think we can maybe bleep not like bleep, but maybe just as if your audio cut out for a quarter second.
Okay.
So you're.
Okay.
We'll see if it works. We'll try it out. Because there's people in this who are cunts.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yes, I
Yes,
agree.
there are. So when you beat him, he drops the Bloodhound Fang. It's a great curved sword that causes bleed buildup. And it was so much better than any other weapon that I had. I put all of my upgrade materials into it, and it lasted me until the end of the game. I had a brass shield, which I would also level up with my character. And then when I got better at the game and I got more confident from the kind of midpoint on, I had a second grade curved sword so that I would power stance. So I had a Zamor's curved sword, which dealt frostbite, and my Bloodhound Fang, which dealt bleed, and I would power stance the shit out of everyone. Very, very powerful build,
Excellent.
just in terms of dealing damage.
And yourself?
First played through the katana that I found eventually in the catacomb. My goal was to get Rivers of Blood katana because it was supposed to be
Was that
easy mode.
The best. Yeah.
was that
Yeah.
pre-nerf?
Post nerf. I didn't realize it was post nerf.
Shit.
So I spent, by the time you get the game, you're about 60% through the game.
Yeah, because that's up in the Icy Tundra when you fight the giants. That's
Just
very, very
before
late in the game.
fire giant.
Yeah.
So that's, you're heading towards the end game here. Okina, that drops the Rivers of Blood. In the first playthrough, I actually amazingly discovered this myself, even though everyone knew it, but I didn't go looking this up. Blasphemous Blade is ridiculous.
It's what I use in my second playthrough. It's fucking
It's
phenomenal.
stupid. Sorry, Steve. I'm not saying you picked a stupid weapon, but it's like, come on. If you beat Rykard, his remembrance, you can get the Blasphemous Blade from. And I was like, give this a go. I was like, hold on, wait a second. The Ash of War Taker's Flames, you hit somebody with that. it replenishes your HP. You don't need to kill people. You just need to hit them. And it's an amazing Ash of War as well. It sends out this flame path in front of you.
Like a wall of flame that just moves, and it goes through enemies. So if you can lock onto one and then shimmy to the side and get them in a line, it'd go poof, 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 and you get like 150 health for like each hit. So if you hit 5 or 6, you can go from almost dead to full health.
Wow.
And then if you use, there's a talisman that you deal extra damage while at full health. So that, plus like Alexander's Shard, which increases the strength of your special. So your Ash of War, if you have like all of those on at the same time, you are a god.
It also poise breaks enemies. You know, like Flame of the Red Mains is a famous Ash of War for poise breaking. Like Taker's Flames does it, and you get HP back. It's, if anyone wants to play the game first time, I would just get Blasphemous Blade. Eventually get Blasphemous Blade.
I would not recommend using it on your first playthrough.
Because it ruins it.
I feel like you should have to earn it. Kind of thing.
I didn't earn it.
You
but
know?
Could I just tell you my second playthrough one? Bloodhound's Fang.
The special is so good.
It's the special. You've saw me multiple times using the special because it pretty much in boss fights is the only thing I do. The Ash of War's Bloodhound's Finesse, where press L2, you jump in, you close massive distance to jump in, swipe at the boss or any enemy. Big damage, like 1,000 for
Big
plus 10
damage.
Bloodhound's Fang.
Plus bleed build up.
Then you jump away.
You do a backflip.
And then you can press R2 to get iframes and jump in and do another slash for another 1,000 damage.
And build up more
And
bleed.
It's crazy.
It's brilliant.
And just quickly, other loadout, Black Bow, highly recommend. It has a short bow's moveset, but long bow's damage. And the Ash of War's Barrage, where you can go psh, 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 with the arrows.
Okay, so
you
you're
can-
like your man from Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
Just less sexy.
Exactly.
Big wit.
Then, same as you, Brass Shield. It's a medium shield with 100% physical
It's
damage.
fucking brilliant. It is a
Brilliant.
perfect shield.
It is. Boss fights, green turtle shell on my back for stamina regen.
Regen, okay.
Finger Seal for some buffs, weapon buffs and healing, etc. And Radan's armor.
Just for myself, with the loadout as a mage, my staffs are started with Astrologer's Staff, then Meteorite Staff that you find in Caelid, and I finished with the Crystal Staff to end the game. Melee was the Morning Star, which I coat with Blood Grease for the longest while. Then
Ooh, is that the one with the special where she just goes like that?
No, that's a flail.
Oh, that's so good.
The Morning Star is a mace.
Oh, yes.
and then I used Renala's Darkmoon Greatsword to end the game. Magic spells, early Glintstone Pebble, and then Great Glintstone Shard, which I ended up using right through to the end of the game. But invaluable is the Magic Glintstone, which has a delayed attack. So the enemies will, when you cast it, they'll jump, but it takes whatever 3 seconds to actually cook and hit them. And so they get hit with it. It's amazing. Loretta's Great Bow, which has a really long reach. I found it more useful than the kind of 4x attack that you get. She has like a 4-1 because it has an oval arch, so it ends up hitting the sides of the walls or something, you know. Quick shout out to Starlight, because you're in a cave or in a catacomb, or is it nighttime, and it's just like a little hovering magic bulb overhead and it stays for ages.
Not using the lantern?
You could, but
Love
I like
the
this one
lantern.
better. Super handy. Terra Magica as well is a sigil on the ground. Stand on it and it boosts how hard your spells hit.
Ooh.
Awesome. Obviously, torches light up caves. Shout out to the Beast Repellent Torch.
Yes, in Caelid.
Yeah.
The lifesaver. Dogs won't touch you, and the little frog dudes that spit the
Basilisk.
blight, the basilisks, they won't touch you either.
Really?
3 out of 6.
Why did nobody tell me that?
Oh, when I found that out, that immediately cuts the terror of going through Caelid, because I ended up there early, because there's a cave where you go to in Limgrave and you open up a chest and bam, you're in the middle of a cave in Caelid and there's these bug men spitting sperm at you everywhere, and it's
Pest threads.
terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Just as a shield, as a mage, I have no strength, so no heavy shields. I kept a carrion shield for most of the game because it has both physical and magic negation. So
100% physical.
the, what do you call those, like whirlwinds that you jump up and you get
Spirit Springs.
Yeah. Do you know that you can jump into the Spirit
Yes,
Springs from
of
a
course.
great height?
That's the most.
And
That's
you go,
number
"Damn,
rule number
damn."
1, Jay.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. So what are rainbow stones used for?
They
Finding
are...
one tower.
So yes, there's a tower in the mountaintops that you need to cross an invisible bridge, and you drop them in front of you and it'll light the way. But what I used them for pretty much exclusively was testing whether I would die from a drop. If you throw a rainbow stone over the edge of a cliff, if it smashes, you're going to die. If it doesn't, I'm going to jump down here.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
That's a really good trick to know, because the actual game, it's so inconsistent. There are times when I jump from massive distances and I'm like, I'm definitely dead, and you don't. Then there's other times where you jump from half the height and you die. It makes zero sense.
I think sometimes it's like you're not allowed to go here. You know, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's
it's just weird.
one of the broken bridges near Ray Lucaria. It's like, I could definitely make that jump. No, you died. You know? Huge question for you, Stephen. What mimics did you use?
Well, Jay, on my first playthrough, I used anything I could to get me through, but it was
You big hero, you.
99% of the time it was mimicked here. But I only get that mid-game, so early on it was the jellyfish, because
Oh,
they're
she's great.
tanky and spits poison. Got me through a lot of boss fights. Second
Hey,
playthrough...
sorry, talk more about because I tried this jellyfish and I was like, hey, do something.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
like she, so
Which was great.
Yeah, I absolutely loved her. Like, she will tank so much hits.
Tank means.
Her health pool is so large that she can take hits, and it means that the boss is going to focus on her, which means that you can run up and get in extra hits on the boss. And you said she will spit poison, and if that procs, then it's going to do a lot of damage. So for the early game, incredible.
Sorry, what is proc?
So proc means programmed random occurrence. But in practical terms, what it means is building up a status effect to the extent that it activates. So in terms of like the most basic one, poison, your own poison bar that comes up on the screen when you start getting poisoned, when it reaches the top of that bar, you see the sign on the screen poisoned, and you start taking continuous damage. All the enemies have the same bar, you just can't see it. So when you proc poison on an enemy, you'll see they might go green, as in the poison has affected them, and you'll see their health slowly ticking down. So that counts for bleed, frost, various other effects.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Proc, I thought processed. But
Yeah.
no, programmed random occurrence. It makes no sense.
But it's not random, because
it's not.
you're literally building
I know.
a bar.
Yeah.
That's
Weird,
very
isn't it?
bad. Yeah.
Steve, what mimics did you use?
For the early game, I used the jellyfish. Then I leveled up some of the skeletons, because they will come back to life. So if they die, then you can attack the boss and get its attention, and they will come back again. That's pretty helpful. And then once you get the mimic tier, that's it. Like, you don't need anything else in the entire game. But I will say, for my new game plus, I only summoned once in the entire game.
You noob.
And that's because I had nightmares of when I fought the two
Gods can do.
gargoyles, which is beef.
Valiant gargoyles.
I hate them. It's garbage, because they're fucking poison as well.
Arson.
Yeah. It's my least favorite boss fight in the entire game, and I just summoned, and I got my blasphemous blade, and I was like, whoa, whoa, killed them first time, baby.
Jay, you do yours, and we'll loop back to my second playthrough. I want to talk about the summons that I'm using in my second playthrough.
I used Lutiel for the most of the game, the headless soldier. I used Dags to fight Renala. They nip at her so she can't charge and blast.
Oh, that's really good.
Tish, badass, just a wrecking machine.
Tish is good.
She is like Lutiel. She has a mini warp to close the distance and does this black flame seeping health damage. Really awesome. She was with me during the Elden Beast as well, and Mimic, of course.
I also just want to point out that the lore behind that kind of seeping health damage with the black blade is that Rani stole part of the rune of death from Malekith's sword, and it was imbued in the black blades, and so that's how it deals that extra life sapping damage. That's how they killed Godwin.
Very good. At the night of the
Black Knives.
and so what mimics did you use for your second playthrough?
It's a list of precisely 0, none.
I only summoned once in the entire playthrough.
I think 1 is more than 0, Jay.
I
Correct me if
used
I'm wrong
minus
here.
ones.
Steve, you finished your New Game Plus playthrough.
No.
Okay,
I haven't actually.
come back to us when you finish that, will you? 165 bosses, no summon. No summons, and it was torture, but you get used to it.
I was thinking I'd love to give people who haven't played the game, and this is maybe their first exposure to Elden Ring, what a typical day in Elden Ring is like. So, I wanted to progress through this lake of rot, but the sea causes a buildup of the disease scarlet rot, which when activated ebbs away at your health. So you have to stop right there and farm items to create the boluses needed to make the antidote. Then I reach the boss that isn't even the main boss of the area, the Dragonkin soldier, and he one-shots you. Die, 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 die. When I got him down to a quarter health, I ran out of boluses. So I'm really sad, so I just have to leave tail between my legs.
Oh my god.
And also, one of the materials needed to craft these staunching boluses is non-respawning. So now I'm off to find new armor that slows the rot so I can use less boluses. But I have to find out how to reach this random cave in an area I haven't been yet.
Yeah.
So to cross a river, I need to find a cave. By the way, the item...
Aeonian butterflies?
Sacrificial bud.
Oh god, yeah, there's not many of them.
I should be fucking smoking that bud.
Which doesn't regenerate, but you don't need it. You don't even need the mushroom armor, which is in the Seathwater Cave, that reduces the disease. You could get the speckled hardtear to use in your physic, which cures ailments and restores health. Or there's a fucking incantation that removes all ailments.
Flame cleanse me, baby.
That's it.
That's what I use, because I'm a faith build, because I can play through.
And the law of regression as well.
Oh.
Can I just give out about the Dragonkin soldier?
Go on.
Fuck you, Elden Ring. You have to get in the rot before starting the fight. So you're at an immediate disadvantage. And fuck you, when you die, your XP, your runes, is in the rot. Go wade in it and get it.
Really, I never died to him. I wouldn't know. You probably
I hate
didn't
you
either,
so
Steve. Just in terms of Jay giving out about the Scarlet Rot. So, you get up on a platform before you awaken the Dragonkin soldier. He has no patience. He was just like, yeah, that's me. Let's go and fight him now. My bar is like, 9/10 full. No, stand there and wait till it goes down.
I can't wait 90 seconds before starting each. I'm going to die in 10 seconds anyway. So, there's a lot of dying, but what got him in the end is that I was able to kind of get around him and then bang him in the arse.
Bang him, yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, if I'm trying to impart my mentality of what, the keys of victory is like, don't be greedy, stay your hand. In the bout that you win, you will have had striking opportunities you didn't take. This was 90 minutes of my day, and I thought that was really bad. And then I was like, he's got nothing on the rest of the game. Dying once a minute or less, it's a lot of deaths. And after I won, I checked Fighting Cowboy, and he got hit 8 times by the Dragonkin soldier. And I was like, okay, 1, I'm not, I only suck half as bad. And 2 is my vigor is too low. That's actually an issue, and I need to put more points in vigor. So that is one of the 165 bosses in the game. OOC! Top 10 bosses in Elden Ring.
Witless tarnished, why cover destined death?
Okay, 165 bosses done, dead, as of this morning.
Oh my god. I can't believe I wasn't there for that. I was there for the TLOU anthology.
Here's the footage. You see how shit I am at this game? First playthrough, there were only 2 bosses. That troubled me, and the reason being because I was using whatever means necessary to get the job done, whether it be summons, incantations, spells, you name it, I was doing it. One was the Erdtree avatar in the Weeping Peninsula. Reason being because I didn't realise you could lock on. I think he was the first boss I fought.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was running around on Tarrant on swiping at air. Then
show that air who's boss.
And then the other one was the fucking Elden Beast, which took me 7 hours. Yeah, not consecutive, not 7 consecutive hours.
Yeah, but still.
Honourable mentions, Elden Beast, we'll come back to him later. Moog Lord of Blood in Mogwin Palace, not the one in the subterranean shunning grounds. Even with the purifying crystal tier, which you can add to your physic, he phase changes where he lifts his staff in the air and starts saying nihil, nihil. And at that point, you do massive blood loss damage. If you don't chug your physic with this tear in it, you take massive damage and you have to just spam your Estus or your flask of Crimson Tears.
That's what I did, yeah.
Yeah, this negates that.
Ooh.
So even with that, I found him very difficult. Yeah. The other two, Steve's favourite, the Valiant Gargoyles and Nokron, because there's two of them basically, and they both do poison damage and they won't leave you alone. And then Flying Dragon Agil in Limgrave, he was the first dragon I ever encountered. And I just couldn't get the hang of, he's flying away, he's coming back in. I couldn't get the timing of the dodges. I was on Torrent, I couldn't get the iframes. When he'd come back crash landing into you.
It took me a while to figure this out. It's probably like maybe 3 dragons in. Did you know that when they fly up and they swoop and they do their flames, they always flame to the right, so you just have to go left and you're completely safe?
I don't think I consciously figured it out, but it just kind of happened that way. There's too many dragons in the game. But once you face one, they're all the same.
Yeah, they just, this one's flame, this one's magic, this one's lightning.
Exactly.
What are iframes?
Iframes, invincibility frames. So one of the key components of a Souls game is that you can dodge roll through attacks where you don't take damage if your timing is appropriate. So it's not just dodge rolling that has iframes. There are other things like, as I mentioned, Bloodhound's Finesse on the Bloodhound's Fang has iframes. Getting off and getting on Torrent has some iframes. And there's probably several other things that give you iframes. Okay.
Top 10.
Okay.
Question, sorry. When you say your top 10, are they just your favorite or your hardest? Or hardest? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Are the 2 gargoyles in them top 10?
No.
Bullshit. Number 1 with a bullet. Number 10.
Ulcerated Tree Spirit under Stormvale Castle. So this is the first ulcerated tree spirit you encounter.
Yeah.
I think what made it way more difficult was the run back. Even though the run back was a piece of piss, it's just incredibly frustrating.
There's a lot of rats down there.
There is, and there's a few bats, but they're not that bad. It's just, I'm like, can I just get back into this fucking fight, please? So he's quite difficult, especially the first one. There's about 6 or 7 of them in the game, reskin bosses. There's quite a few in Elden Ring.
The hardest one will probably be is it the Halleck Tree or is it in Lanedale where there's like a Lake of Rot and you have to fight one on top of some little mound somewhere?
There is one after the Lake of Rot.
It's really hard.
It is, but I was sufficiently leveled at that point that I melted him.
Nice.
Whereas this is early in the game, Stormvale Castle. So it took a few attempts, but it was more frustration because I kept having to do that run back. And I wanted to end it quickly, and then I kept making mistakes.
Sorry, OC, what's a run back? Or a boss run back?
A boss run back is not an issue in Elden Ring, but in Souls games, generally it means your last checkpoint, Site of Grace, bonfire, whatever you want to call it, is a certain distance away from the boss you've just died to. So you need to either sprint past all the enemies that you've just beaten to get to the boss, or you need to kill them all again, and it's fucking miserable.
Yes. My least favourite one was taking on Renala, because you have to fight 2 of the mages, and they're just so accurate. I always take a hit before getting to Renala, and it just stings,
Yep.
Sorry, how did you beat the ulcerated bollocks in the Lake of Rot? Yeah.
There's a little corner of the platform you can stand on and he'll come to you.
Yeah.
And then I just wailed on him with Bloodhound's Finesse.
Someone did use all the tricks?
That's perfectly legitimate. There's no cheese involved, my friend. And by the way, cheese, in case anyone's not aware, cheese is where you beat something in an unintended way in a video game.
An unsportsmanlike fashion.
Yes, I think that's fair.
You exploit the AI or the game systems.
It's not a glitch.
No.
But you're doing something that they didn't expect you would do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 9.
I mentioned dragons and that they're all the same. There's one that's similar but way fucking harder. Dragon Lord Placidusix.
In Crumbling Farmazula.
Very good, sir. Also has an annoying run back. You have to run past a few beastmen. They're not that bad, but they might hit you. Then you have to carefully drop down and then drop down a few more rocks and then lie down on a platform and then skip a cutscene and get back into it. So again, it doesn't help your rhythm. He has both lightning and fire damage, but I would only ever carry one talisman for non-physical damage negation because I only had one spare slot, because I was using physical damage negation, a Shard of Alexander for increased power damage on my skills, and carrying Filigreed Crest for reduced FP consumption on my skills. So I'd only ever have one spare. Did a few attempts, and then I realised something. I'm going to kill him with Redan's Great Bow's Ash of War. They're imbued with magic, but I'm allowed, according to my rules that I set in the challenge, I'm allowed. They are still arrows that are killing him that happen to be buffed. So after about 20 attempts, I just got the bow, stood, about 20 meters away, spam, arrow, dead. So I'm moving on. I don't want to see this prick again, and let's go. Okay?
But no summons.
No summons.
And no ranged magic. Okay.
But this was
Only-
range
only
with
ranged.
magic imbued.
Yes.
Magic imbued.
Imbued.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
very-
The hyphen is very important. Never been so important.
Number 8.
The Knights Cavalry in Limgrave. The first Knights Cavalry you come across in the game. He's on a bridge. He only comes out at night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I just brick-walled him. I'm like, no, I have to beat him. Come back. Just come back later when you're leveled up. Who cares? You don't even need to kill him. He drops something crap. It doesn't matter. And because I was fighting him on Torrent, I'm making it way more difficult for myself. Do not fight the Knights Cavalry on Torrent. Get off. Dodge roll. Smack him. Break his poise and get him off his horse. But yeah, way too long I spent on him. Waste of time.
Number 7.
Someone must extinguish thy flame.
Margaret. Second playthrough. First playthrough was a piece of piss. The second playthrough, I went to him too early. I was like, I've played this game before. Margaret's easy. I've watched a million videos on people beating Margaret. No, he's still fucking tough. Doesn't matter how many hours I'm going to play in this game, he'll always be tough. I should have leveled up more, but I was like, no, I'm going to fucking do it. Don't care. 20 tries later, no, I'm going away and I'll come back. Came back later and got him first try.
Yeah.
Too
Margaret's very difficult. He has the most delayed swings.
Yes.
And you're waiting for it and you're like, roll. And then he's like, okay, bam. He's like, shit.
Yeah. He's doing it. No, he didn't do it. And now I've rolled.
Radagon is the same. Just
Yes.
those
Yes.
crazy delayed
Yes.
swings.
Yep.
Number 6.
Electo Black Knife Ringleader in Liurnia
Oh,
of the
wow.
Lakes.
Yeah.
You got that one?
Yeah.
So this is one I really wanted because it gives you, for future playthroughs, Black Knife Tish. I want to do a run of Black Knife Tish. Holy shit, I was not, every single ever jail boss up to that point was just like, whack, apart from one which I'll get to, whack, you're dead. No, this woman all over the fucking place, Destined Death spamming at you, which reduces your max health, I think.
Yeah.
And so quick. Couldn't keep up with her.
And that grab move.
Oh my god, the grab move.
Yeah.
But I thought all the other Black Knife assassins in the game were not too bad. A little bit fiddly, but Jesus, this one took way too long.
Number 5.
I've given thee courtesy enough.
Jay's favourite, Godfrey, first Elden Lord / Horaloo. So here's the footage. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say to anyone watching this, I'm so sorry. Because anytime I watch somebody playing Elden Ring, I'm used to watching really good players. I'll mention a few later. The likes of Margaret, Horaloo, whatever, they don't even get hit and it's just a walk in the park. So watching bad players is offensive.
There's people out there who beat Melania level 1 without getting
I know.
it. It's ridiculous.
I know. And I enjoy it. And I hate watching bad play. And this is bad play. So we got there. It took 2 days. We got it done in 2 days. I'm not going to do melee with this guy next time.
Number 4.
Bell-bearing hunter.
Oh, what a knob. It's just you're enjoying the game. Stop enjoying and deal with me.
I fought them all, but this guy was the worst I found because it was early game. War Master Shack in Limgrave. This is where...
Is that the one beside the bats?
maybe there's bats up a hill. There's bats up a hill. Yeah. Yes. And there's a vendor there that sells Ashes of War. And he has a quest line, but bell-bearing hunters only come out at night. And the annoying thing is, you'll have an attempt at the bell-bearing hunter, and you're like, oh, I'm dead. I've respawned. It's morning. So now I need to sit at the site of grace, wind on time to nightfall, get up, sit down again, then get up, and he reappears.
Yeah.
It's that frustration. Again, it's not a boss rung back, but it feels like one.
And you're going into the boss fight not ready because you have to jump through hoops to get him to spawn. Like, not counting the named boss battles, one of those bell-bearing knights was the hardest enemy for me in the entire game. I just had so much trouble with him. It's that sword, like, he can swing it, and his area of damage is so huge that you can't get out of it to heal. It's insanely difficult. Number 3.
The Crucible Knight in the Limgrave Everjail. There's a reason for that, though.
Okay.
Because I said I'm going to beat him parry only. And it was torture because, my family were saying, can you not try something else? No, I'm going to sit here until I beat him with parries.
What a Christmas day this turned out to be.
At that point, you're not even fighting the boss, you're fighting yourself. It's brilliant. Number 1, OOC.
But I was sad. It was a satisfactory victory in the end.
How long did that lengthen it, just going by parry only?
It probably took me 4 hours with it. If I had done it normally, probably 3 or 4 tries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm shit at parrying.
I was garbage at parrying, which is why I did not use a parry shield in either of my run-throughs of this. It's not for me. That is a play style for other people.
Really,
I will
there's
find
some amazing
other ways.
people that can do it. Jay, can you just explain why potentially my parrying was a little bit more difficult than it might have been?
That's because he's not very good. I was going to save that till after.
Oh, okay, fine, right.
Number 2.
The full-grown falling star beast in Mount Gelmir.
Yeah, he's hard.
Oh, the bull. Yeah. Is it because it's such a small area and he's very fasty and twisty-turny?
He's actually in probably the best area for a falling star beast because it's wide open rather than in a cave. But I just couldn't get the hang of, when he's doing his magic attack and he starts moving his pincers and you're like, oh, it's coming. Oh, Jesus, I'm panic rolling and I'm dead.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get the hang of this fight. It's rare that I get really angry to the extent where I want to punch something. But yeah, this was I'm really angry now because I want to move past him. I just want to move on with the game. So not a fan.
Number 1.
To the surprise, Jay's going to know the answer to this. There's nothing.
Hey, there's nothing you can say.
Nothing's going to
change what you've done to me.
Heed my words. I am Melania, Blade of Mikola, and I have never known defeat.
There's nothing that comes even within a solar system of Melania in terms of difficulty. 30 hours.
She's not difficult. She's unfair.
Look at this guy. Oh, right. Thank God.
She's
not difficult.
She's bullshit.
She's not difficult. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Steve.
No, you're grand. It's not that, she's got this crazy moveset that you have to learn or, like a mountain to overcome. It's just she gets health back for every hit and she has a move that has 1 billion hits. It's bullshit.
I agree.
It's like haha, you're about to win. No, I win. I win.
just let's be clear on this. I won there, yes?
I got you down to 20%. No.
Waterfall Dance, it's one of the most famous moves in any video game, and I'm sure you have footage of it right now.
Here's me dying to it, yeah.
I got to the stage where I can pretty much dodge it cleanly.
Wow.
You know, this is 30 hours in, though, you know what I mean? And most games aren't that long. So what you do is you run away from her first 2 spins. On the 3rd spin, you roll into her. Then she jumps up in the air and you roll in again and then you roll back. That's how you do it. But there's good videos on YouTube.
I've seen the slowed down videos and I still can't do it. Because you're supposed to kind of turn slightly left and then roll in and then roll back.
Yes, you're supposed to
I was
roll
like,
it
well,
like
that's
11
good for
o'clock.
a slow down internet.
She replenishes a lot of health on hit. And also her health bar basically almost completely replenishes for phase 2, which is such a kick in the nads.
Yeah.
Tish, the summon, that's why you pick Black Knight Tish, because she's fast. Because if you bring in a tanky summon, Melania's just going to keep hitting them and
wailing her.
get her health back.
Health back, yeah.
So you need Tish because she's fast. You already have Tish. So I tried bleed, frost, fire, whips, curved swords, curved great swords, shield with thrusting swords, spears, halberds, katanas, daggers, twin blades, one-handing, two-handing, power stancing. In 30 hours, you're going to try a lot of things. Elden Ring, one of the beautiful things about Elden Ring quality of life, you can switch out affinities. In this particular case, I'm a Dex player. I'm going to apply the Ash of War to the weapon and select a keen affinity. Keen means we're going to scale your weapon. Now we're getting real deep into it. We're going to scale your weapon with Dex. So each weapon scales differently, right? So, okay, weapon scaling, it ranges from S tier to D tier. The more you level up a weapon, the better the scaling becomes as well.
It can go from B to A to
exactly.
S, the more it's leveled up.
Okay, so in this case, I need to exploit the fact that I've got 56 in Dex. So I changed the affinity of this weapon to a Dex affinity and applied the Ash of War called Prelate's Charge. Prelate's Charge, you lift your weapon in the air, it bursts into flames, and you use it like a lawnmower. It's like a flaming lawnmower. And it's amazing.
Maybe use one of them Sunday.
Melania staggers quite a bit. She's got low poise. So this just knocks her on her arse and she can't get away from it. The other key point, apply Blood Flame Blade. She's weak to fire, she's weak to bleed. Blood Flame Blade does both. So you apply the Blood Flame Blade incantation to your Great Stars weapon that has the Ash of War Prelate's Charge. Walk into the boss arena, walk up to her, hold L2, which initiates Prelate's Charge, and just keep going into her, keep going, and either A, your FP bar will deplete, or B, your stamina bar will deplete. When it either does, she'll smash her, she'll fly up into the air, drop down, you wait, do it again, till she's dead.
Are you telling me that I can't beat Melania as an intelligence mage?
Of course you can.
Do you think will I beat Melania?
No.
Damn. I'm only 2.5 hours. I'm only 2.5 hours into her.
Unless you want to put in the work.
I do. Spite will carry me through at least another 5.5 hours.
Okay, but well then try again. Absolutely you can do it. But like if you're bored and you just don't want to do it anymore but you still want to beat Melania, this is the build.
That's a different level.
Yeah, but is that really beating her, Steve?
I'm failing and respecking. So you're a different character, so that makes me sad.
I wouldn't do it personally. I wouldn't be able to look in the mirror.
It's very weird. Like she's incredibly difficult, but she was not the boss that gave me the most trouble in this game. Like nowhere near.
Is it a story boss? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, excellent OSC. Very much enjoy that.
Let your flesh be consumed by the scarlet rot.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy business with these thrones?
All story bosses. I was hoping we could acknowledge / have a quick chinwag about the story bosses. So these are bosses you need to defeat to actually beat the game, but also including ones that aren't but have a story cutscene. I'm also counting 2 stage bosses as one, even if they're a different person, as you have to do them in a row. Like you can't go and replenish and use your runes or whatever. So by my count, there's 11 necessary bosses and 4 more story bosses, giving 15 total. So you start the game, kick Vare for giving you grief about being maidenless, and the finger maidens that help you on your journey, and a maiden, Melina, offers you an accord, tells you to summon her, and she'll turn your runes into strength via a Mega Powers handshake. Level up so you can fight.
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring.
Number 1.
Margit the Fell Omen.
Someone must extinguish thy flame.
Really cool opening boss. I think he's very difficult for the stage of the game that you can get to him. Like, you can get to him when you're like, what, level 11 or something like that, and you are not supposed to fight him that early. He is very difficult. It's those delayed swings with the hammer, and you think you get his timing down, and you dive into getting splooshed, smashed, you know? Very, very cool looking as well, though.
Over a quarter of players didn't beat Margit.
I'd well believe it.
Well, I command thee.
Number 2. Godric the Grafted.
Despite being the descendant of Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, he is seen as unworthy to rule. Maybe because his powers come from literally grafting soldiers onto himself, or the dragon head in the second part of his boss fight. Most memorable for me for this boss fight was actually post-battle, because I did his summons and, you know, we over the top lads, and we got him. On the battlefield afterwards, his servant Gostok is just like stomping Godric's head over and over. He's like, yeah, you did it, how dare you, man? I got you. And you're just looking at him for 8 hours, and you had to know he's garbage.
You didn't kill Gostok. I was like, you're not stealing my runes, bitch.
I was just about to ask you, did you know that?
I did not know that until recently, that he steals 30% of your runes if you die in Stonevale.
I also didn't know, and I didn't kill him. And it wasn't until I was watching someone else playing the game, and they didn't notice either. It was one of the other guys who was playing it with him was like, shh, you can't tell him. Yeah. We have to wait until he notices it. And he never did. God bless you, Rory.
Yeah.
But yeah, little fucker, man. 30% of your runes.
At that stage of the game where you're desperate for levels, fuck you.
Hush, little Culver.
Number 3, Renala, Queen of the Full Moon.
And the library at Hogwarts. I thought it was fine until phase 2, and then like it was just, oh look, that's a beautiful move. Hadouken!
Oh no, that's a Kamehameha.
Yeah,
that is
Comet Azure.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is.
What do you call it?
A Kamehameha.
What's that?
Dragon Ball.
Oh, is it? Okay,
it's a
sorry.
fireball, but it's like never ending one.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, one of my favorite bosses in the game. I think it's the most beautiful boss arena in the entire game. I think it's absolutely stunning, having the moon in the background. It made me think of Rom, because you have to jump into the lake and then you're kind of transported into this like magical world. Just, you know, no fucking spiders, which is great.
This is a Bloodborne boss.
Oh, okay.
Just to mention, Jay was texting me, you know, every couple of weeks during his playthrough saying, oh, I'm stuck here, any ideas? And he was talking about Ronaldo. I said, well, you're a mage build. She's massively resistant, obviously, to magic. So like Renala for a melee build is one hit. You know, you just
I think I beat her
her
on my second go.
Yeah, it's a piece of piss.
Guys, so
she was
but
fine.
For a mage build, oh Jesus.
Probably one of the more difficult.
Yeah.
I feel like the game doesn't give her the justice in terms of the lore that she should have, because she was married to Radagon. So she was the first wife of Radagon. She became the queen and she gave birth to 3 demigods. Rani, Radan, and Ricard,
very good.
who are all shard bearers, and they were fighting over to become the next Elden Lord. Ridiculously powerful characters.
Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog.
Number 4, Radan.
Star Scourge Radan, yeah, for great rune number 1. Because it was cool battlefield, you go see, it's like, oh, what are you doing there?
Amazing moment.
What's that? Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And dodge timing is tough on those arrows.
It is hard, yeah.
Now, Steve, this would be your kind of fight. Lots of people to summon. You would love it.
In kayfabe, it's expected that you summon.
It is a festival. And you want everyone to muck in with the scrap.
Hey, with me, it was a party for one.
If you are not summoning, you are, in fact, disrespecting
Yes.
the Scourge of the Stars himself.
Hold on, are you telling me in New Game Plus you summoned these NPCs?
I got the Pop Man because I
You
absolutely
scum.
love him.
You scum.
Oh, no, Steve, I beat him so easily that he didn't even get to phase 2.
Oh, of course.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
mean the Pop Man did, yeah. When you hid.
Do you know what one of my
Hide in
favorite
the
things
pot.
about this? Right? So you go in and you get the belly man with the hammer, and then you get Okina, who's an absolute geek. He's not in lore, but in the actual playing of the game, he's a massive geek. And then you go over to the side and you get Blythe, the half wolf, who's fucking awesome. And you get the Pop Man, and then by himself you get Patches. And then Patches comes and he's got a shield and a spear and he legs it up and then nopes out of it and just disappears. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Great.
Patches
great.
is brilliant.
Just by the way, gigantic soldier, Star Scourge Rodan, and he's on a teeny horse. Is that not hilarious? Obviously he'll smash you, but I died laughing at him.
He might be the most powerful character. He's literally holding back the
Stars.
heavens, you know? It's amazing. And he's such a beast, but he really loves his horse. And he takes care of him by, obviously, he's making himself way less while he's fighting the rot, which is making him go crazy. And he can't even tell the difference between, you know, enemies and friends, but he loves his horse.
I love this boss fight. I love everything about it.
I think it's one of the coolest.
The battlefield. I love the boss itself. I do love the idea, just the idea of summoning the NPCs, but
I won't summon, but I will cheese it.
I didn't cheese them. There is a cheese you can do, by the way. I didn't do it.
Tell me about the cheese.
In his second phase, you know, which is amazing, the comet, holy shit.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is easy to just run away with turrets,
you
but
just go left.
still, yeah. You know what would be amazing if you could parry the comet?
Wow, that would be cool.
Oh my god. But if you stand in the lake and he comets into the lake, he'll die.
Oh my god.
Wow. Yeah,
I love it.
Welcome, honored guest.
Number 5, Moog, Lord of Blood.
Ooh, access through Vare's questline after defeating Radahn for Great Rune number 2.
Moog's cool. I think he's awesome looking. He does suffer a bit from the fact that he's basically a reskin, you know, of like, you know, there's Margit, Morgoth, and Moog, and they're all very, very similar. So Moog and Morgoth are brothers.
Yes.
But Margit is not.
Margit is Morgoth.
Margit is Morgoth.
Yes.
The same as okay. Okay, yeah, there's a couple of cases of that where one character is another character. Okay.
Yeah, we covered, I don't know, is there anything else you want to say?
No.
Oh, by the way, fortunately, just like Margit and Morgoth, Moog has a shackle as well you can use, which makes the fight a little bit easier. Thank you.
Excellent. It was after I had beaten the game, so I bulldozed through. Just used multiple cerulean tears to combat his seeping damage, and Tish carved them up, and then I bummed them good, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Number 6, Draconic Tree Sentinel, also known as DTS.
And you need to defeat him to enter Leyndell. What an asshole! Like, whenever I got close to beating him, I was like, oh, lightning! Can't even dodge it.
It does so much
You know?
damage. The timing window to dodge that is so small that it's like, I'd be lucky to get it 50% of the time, you know? And then you just get absolutely hockeyed out of it. And when I was making my character, so I made her female and I chose the voice that sounded like a cat when you get hit. But when you're fighting certain enemies, you just hear it constantly and it's so grating. It's so annoying.
Number 7, Godfrey the First Elden Lord.
Who throws golden shade. And you need to beat him to get to Morgoth.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand the lore behind fighting like a gold ghost of someone.
It was very much, I'll see the unreskinned version a little later.
It feels a bit like padding to me, yeah.
They ran out of ideas is what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
And there's nothing interesting about this fight as far as I'm concerned, sorry.
No, that's it.
Yeah, there's nothing...
It was fine.
It's an annoying boss run back because you have to go up the tree branch with the
lads,
the guardians.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
What is thy business with these thrones?
Number 8, Morgoth, the Omen King.
To obtain the rolled medallion. This is the only boss you can...
Oh, what?
This is the only boss you can summon Melina to fight beside you.
I did that in my first playthrough.
Damn!
Oh, yeah.
Would have been number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's handy.
Melina's big power is creating an Earth Tree spell to replenish your health. And do you know, if you fudge the game and kill her while you're beside the bonfire, as she dies, she creates a new Earth Tree spell as her last act. Like her final deed is kindness, replenishing your health. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
4 out of 6.
Oh,
go!
Well done,
Nice.
sir.
Nice.
Well done. Anything on Morgoth?
sorry.
Anything
Yeah,
interesting?
no
I thought he
Morgoth.
was a piece of piss.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Other than that one move where he gets the gold AoE, which is huge. Other than that, I thought he was fine. I think I was quite well leveled by the time I got to him and I'd gotten grips with the game. Yeah.
I think most people are. It's quite late game-ish.
Yeah.
Number 9, Fire Giant.
To set the Earth Tree on fire and warp to the crumbling farm Azula. Did you cheese this guy or did you fight him sportsman-like?
I don't know the cheese to this guy.
Oh my god, it's so good.
We both have, on my first playthrough and Jay's first playthrough, we both cheesed him.
So if you go up to the mountaintop, you can get him to come around. You jump down again and he gets stuck at the top of this little mountain peak. And then you get Latenna, you position her where she can just hit him with her bow. And so she's just hitting him for like 15 damage over and over.
Stand there.
And then you go away, you put on the kettle for a cup of tea, you come back and he's like 6% down.
Oh my
And I'll
god. That sounds like misery.
It is. No, it's grand. As you say, you
I
can
was
go.
like, go have I son, go have I son.
But hold on, you need to do it twice, Jay, because he's got 2 phases. You do it in the first phase, and then he cuts scenes into a second phase, and you have to lead him up again.
See, there's work involved.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I just beat him the regular way.
Just did it.
Smash his ankles. I didn't think he was particularly difficult. I think the issue with him is that when he rolls on you, if you're not full health, it can kill you. If you're not constantly topping up your health, at any point, he can one-hit kill you, and that's a bit mean. I think there's one move where he puts a shield into the ground and then he lifts it up. And
How do you
that's
avoid
difficult.
Roll.
That's one of the more difficult ones to
Roll
avoid. You just have to
forward.
roll forward.
as
Yeah,
it-
you just
as
have
the wave comes
perfect
at you.
timing, yeah.
But if you're on torrents,
I think you
luck.
can double jump, can you?
best of luck, is it?
I've never tried double jumping.
Because I tried that and it's like, no,
No.
you get hit.
Okay.
In my second playthrough, first phase easy. I found the second phase quite tricky because you can only really hit his hands or his eye, and you can
Yeah.
only hit his eye when he falls over, and he doesn't do that often. So you have to focus on the hands. But the problem is, you get a couple of hits off, and then massive AOE's all over the fucking. It's tricky. Number 10, Godskin Duo.
To get to Malekith, pack of cults. Either separately is fine. Both at the same time I found frustrating. And then you find out about sleeping pots. You switch your clothing to max your intelligence.
I love how
Get your
Luke is
intelligence
nodding
tier.
here like, yes, but I didn't summon.
Create and equip sleeping pots. About 8 should do. Not much. Like, I found it more annoying than anything else, but I did like the giant rolling Homer attack with the fat Godskin guy who does. He rolls
yeah,
around.
it's good. It's good
Yeah.
shit.
If you're not prepared for it, you're fucked. You're dead. But you can stand up on one of the pillars after he breaks them, and he just rolls into the pillar and
Yeah.
can't get you. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But you keep talking about spells in a pot. No, they're not spells. I use them, so they couldn't be. There's no magic involved here.
It's a sleep.
They are
Potion.
Potion.
consumables.
They're
Okay.
consumables. They
Yeah.
are not, it's not magic.
Yeah.
If I use them, they can't be magic. So
Okay. Well, your FP isn't reduced because of you using it, so it's fine now.
there you go.
Yeah.
Excellent
Yeah.
point, sir.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
It is
Like
good.
You.
Damn, I
Like
shouldn't have
you.
helped him.
Yeah.
Oh no, I use Ash of Wars, which reduces FP. But anyway,
On my first playthrough, I summoned, I'd say probably up until Radan, and then the chat on Twitch were saying, you're beating the bosses quite easily, like, do you want to try and not summon? And so I stopped summoning then until I got to Malekith. So I did beat these guys without summoning. It was really, really difficult, but not as bad as those fucking gargoyles. Like, they gave me the most,
Really?
some of the most trouble. I hated them,
but
yeah.
at least the gargoyles, even though they had a massive reach, it was a massive arena. So once Godskin Noble starts doing his roly-poly attack, you got to be up on a pillar, otherwise you're dead. Because, you know, in a single fight with Godskin Noble, you can chase him around while he's doing his roly-poly. But if you do that with the duo fight, Apostle's just going to start fucking spamming magic at you. So, yeah, a fair play.
It was fine for me. Like, it was difficult, you know. It probably took me like a dozen goes or something you know.
It's nothing.
Oh, death. Become my blade once more.
Number 11, Malekith.
A.k.a. Beast Clergyman, a.k.a. Death Root Doggo. And you need to defeat him to burn the thorns of the Erd Tree.
For me, one of the absolute hardest bosses in this game. I got about halfway through and I stopped summoning. And
sorry, is this your longest time spent on a boss?
This was one of the few bosses that I couldn't beat on a single stream, and then I had to come back and beat him again the next day. It happened maybe 3 times in this game. I had a lot of trouble. I could get him down to the second phase fine, but then once he starts hitting you with the black blade and your pool of health gets smaller, and he's so fast and he has combos that just go on for ages, like you think it's going to end. And then he's got another rally of hits, and just between trying to block through some and dodge, my green bar is gone, and then I'm getting absolutely rinsed. So yeah, this was the boss where I just had to say, sorry guys, I'm done. Mimic tier. And then I think I beat him the first go with the Mimic tier, because like I was so leveled up at that point that we just fucking rinsed him.
Okay, he was playing with an audience with no summons there. I was feeling great about myself until I mentioned that.
Sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
It was bad enough with Jay watching me, but you've got X 100 people watching you. Like,
it can be difficult because I feel guilty if I'm not reading the chat and like answering questions or stuff like that. And when I'm trying to read a boss and kind of side-eye the chat bar, it can absolutely crucify you in a few seconds, you know. But yeah, Malekith, for me, probably the hardest boss in the entire game.
Dude is fast, hits hard, but wow, his second phase and the flippy shit, like it's quite spectacular if he wasn't pulverizing me into the ground. Is he doing this kind of ballet Young Bucks flips to put you off your game? And it did. Well done, sir. It made me rethink if the game is adding general stress to my life. Like, am I stressed out in general from playing Elden Ring? You know, in the game, like there's no huge area of calm. Like, I was streaming this boss fight to Kim, and after we finished, she put on Tears of the Kingdom and did some Zoro's Domain side quests, and like the music there is so calming and relaxing. Nothing's out to get you. It's like, na-na-na-na-na. Here is a pool you can splish around. You know, I was like,
this big fucking orchestra booming, pillars blowing up, black blades coming at you. It's
I don't want to live
wild.
I don't want to live in the lands between. It sounds terrible. I know the rent is great, you know.
Especially Caelid. Stuff going for a song there.
Yeah.
Shacks everywhere. They can't give them away. You know?
Join myself and King as remedy. TLOU.
Number 12, Rykard.
The Lord of Volcano Manor.
I think this is like one of the easiest boss battles in the entire game. I think it's like a gimmick boss battle.
Yeah, he's so cool when he's kind of curled up and you're like, what is that? It's like a hand? Am I fighting a hand?
Yeah, and you know, and then you get that giant sword and you can just spam special attacks, just giant ghost swords spooging this man every way.
Excuse me.
Skewering him. It's brilliant. I love it. For me, it wasn't stressful at all. I just had fun playing it.
Because, you know, you warp into it and there is the, Randy Orton Viper Blade. And I took it. And then I was like, I just compared it to my weapon. I was like, it's not as strong. Okay, I'll just put that in the inventory. And
oh, God.
And then your man would just smash me out of it. And then I was like, hang on, I should... Okay, listen, you're supposed to use the gifts the game gives you. And so, much later, wanted to just try it out. And then, and then he's toast, you know.
Ghost sword.
Old serpent hunter.
What I did was I went in, I took the weapon, I went back to round table, and I upgraded
look
it.
At this guy.
Did you?
Yeah.
Very clever.
Taking
very,
no
very
risks
clever.
here. Like.
That's like 10 summons.
Fuck off.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring. To become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs.
Number 13, Sir Gideon Ofnir.
The all-knowing to get access to Godfrey. You know, when you go in and he starts giving you a heel turn, you shouldn't have showed up. I knew you'd come and I got to fight you. Do you know why? Because I think I've been talking to the Queen and she says we should struggle for eternity instead. Mate, is that really? This is... Oh. When we were in the Round Table Halt, you told me that we should be compelled to work together. But it's only if you become Lord, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But did you notice that his bodyguard, Ensha, attacks you when you have the medallions because he wants you to do the hard work and him to take the credit?
I didn't actually piece that together. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God.
And then when you kill her and you go to chat to him, he says sorry that she was acting on her own.
He's gone rogue.
Yeah, and he's like, it's grand.
No, but he says something like she's getting ahead of herself, as in, I was planning to do this, but not this early. Yeah.
Is it Latenna, the Albanorak? And she says, you've taken everything from me. What more do you want? And then you say, oh, I actually have half of the medallion here. Can you bring me to the Halleck Tree to see my sister? And she mentions some guy who knows all attacked the village of the Albanorics. I was like, shit, that was Gideon.
Yeah.
Punk.
Absolute
shithead.
I was like, you've taken everything from me. What more can you give? I'll take that plus 10 ancient somber smithing stone when we get up to the icy place.
I didn't summons for him just to teach him a lesson.
Well, it's not really a fight.
Oh,
really.
damn.
Unless you give him time.
Yeah.
The first time I fought him, I didn't know that people just went in and wailed on him and he kept on speaking. And I was like, oh yeah, this guy is giving a speech and I'll, listen to it. Yeah. And he fucking rinsed me. I mean, I was like, this is like the hardest boss ever. And then the chat was like, just hit him while he's talking. Yeah. And then, so yeah, I beat him on the second go.
But he only says that the first time, right? He only chats to you. Because mine won the second time.
Far.
Oh, maybe
yeah.
I do love Gideon's mask. It's very Sauron.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
And, when you beat him, he's like, oh, but a man cannot kill a god. And then like, I am no man. Yeah!
Awen,
there we go. I am surprised Gideon can fight so well. Like, does he not have crippling backache? Because whenever you see him, he's stooped in the ring like this.
Over the table.
For the last 150 hours, he's been stooped.
To be granted audience once more.
Number 14, Godfrey the First Elden Lord.
Ooh, and after him, it's TLOU, a warrior, to get access to the final boss. How did you get on with this, lad?
TLOU's hard, man. He's a very, very difficult boss. He just does
past Godfrey there.
He just does so much damage, Godfrey I didn't find that bad. He killed me a fair bit, but it wasn't like I was on him for like hours. But TLOU was really, really difficult because he just hits so hard.
And he has a weird time where he'll grab you, but not straight away. I did get in Nefali, Nipples, and my summons. And I was like, I want to finish with my mates. Breath of the Wild champion style, I thought it was so cool. Obviously you're gonna fight him and you're like, oh my god, what am I in for? But he's being like puppeteered by a lion behind them, and that's so cool. Phase 2 TLOU doesn't really strike fear in the hearts of men. I do like he's a bloody Zangief wanting to grab you and pile drive you, and he has a big axe kick and stuff, but it was, in terms of scary people, he kind of low down the list. He still battered me for a while, but I wasn't afraid of him.
One of the many reviews I've watched of Elden Ring, and the guy reviewing it made me laugh because, at the end of the first phase, there's the cutscene and he rips off the lion and he says, I am not Godfrey anymore. I am TLOU, and it fades to black. It's like, was that supposed to mean something? And the guy reviewing it was like, he could tell me his name was Billy Anderson and it wouldn't matter. Who the hell is TLOU? It wasn't mentioned before.
You were an Irishie hoorah.
Yeah, I assume you're still playing that footage of me getting my ass handed to me, but please, go ahead.
I forgot to mention this, but this is important. You'll need to hear this, is that Ook's TV that he played Elden Ring on does not have a game mode on it. So When he handed me the controller, I just press circle to jump back. And so circle, jump back, circle, jump back. There is half a second difference between circle and jump back.
Okay, wow.
Thank you.
I'm very, very lucky. I do all my gaming on a monitor, so I never have that issue.
This was significant. Like,
Thank you, Jay.
You were saying, we got onto Radagon there. Oh, like, I spent 7 hours on you. I'll smash you, mate. And it's like, all my timing is wrong. Bang.
You have to
bang.
learn it again.
And I go up to him and start taking a flask instead of
He switched the button on his
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Zelda, you always press the Y button or the square. So I changed around my strike and flask.
Oh, shit. This is like FIFA and Pro Evo all over again, isn't it?
But it was hilarious. The fight starts. He runs up to him. I'll show you. Number 15, Radagon of the Golden Order / Elden Beast.
Oh, see, you told me to hoard rune arcs, so I had never used one until the final boss. I don't even use it on Radagon, It still took 7 hours. His slightly delayed attacks, it kept getting me because he'll go,
yeah.
And it's, oh my god.
So there were 2 bosses in this game that I did beat, but I never felt that I mastered them, and that's Melania and Radagon. He gave me so much trouble, and I had a fear of him because if I lost to the Elden Beast, then I had to beat him again, and I never felt confident that I could get past him with 7 or 8 flasks. I was always down to 2 or 3 for the beast.
I don't know if this is this usual in FromSoft games there. If someone has an attack, you're supposed to roll into it.
Yes.
Because that one where he kind of whips into the air and then comes down, you're supposed to roll into that. Yeah. And I would never do that. I will go left and I'll go right and I'll go back, and he'd go bang, bang, bang. But then he was like, he came and was like, roll towards him, and it's like, you can dodge it. Unbelievable.
Sorry, just on Radagon, not too bad. I'd get through Radagon 9 times out of 10. Maybe not with many flasks left, but not too bad. But the one thing that annoys me the most is his AoE / area of effect attack after a big, say he will hit you, and then he'll have holy damage on the ground waiting to explode, so you get the double whammy. Yeah, you've already hit me. I've taken my punishment for my missed roll, but now I'm getting punished twice. I just don't think that's fair.
Well, at least we're talking at the very end of the game, so your tolerance for unfair is okay, fair enough, But yes, it is bullshit. I did try a ton of different weapons, but in the end I went back to my great glintstone shard, as I need to be able to rattle off a shot quickly, because you only get one chance, so take it when you can get it. Elden Beast, just on the design, I wasn't blown away by it as the end of game boss.
No.
It feels out of place in this game. He just looks a bit jelly belly-ish to me,
Is it
jelly swan?
Is it
Diplodo?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Yes.
And being ethereal night sky being is cool, but it was like Astel is way cooler.
Astel is ripped right out of Bloodborne.
He's awesome.
He's in the wrong game.
Yeah, but it looks awesome.
He looks amazing.
And for being a crazy omnipotent being, having a sword is a bit lame, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not naturally powerful. Could he not just show up with a gun instead? I'll get you,
Oh my god, it would be the golden gun.
Oh,
yeah. There we go.
Beast with the golden gun.
His poses. That's when you get him. A side note, obviously, the sword he wields is the previous boss, Radagon, dipped in the celestial goo.
It's just about the only cool thing about the Elden Beast fight, but Radagon has been mentioned in the game, and he's an awesome final boss. Make him have 2 phases, Mano a Mano or Mano a Womano, or Womano a Womano, depending on the lore, but it just feels like a proper ending, and then you're like, what the hell is this thing? Also, don't have your final boss to be a massive creature that your camera goes crazy, because you're not going to enjoy the fight. You're just going to be fighting with the camera.
The arena is enormous, and when he runs away from you and you have to chase him, you can't summon Torrent in this fight,
No.
I believe.
That would have been cool.
I think that's bullshit. Chasing someone is not fun. Fighting someone is fun.
Yes.
I did feel so bad for Kim, because I was like, hey, do you want to see the end of Elden Ring? Beat Gideon grand, beat Stage 2 Zangief grand, straight into Radagon, brick wall, 2 bosses back to back. 5 hours in, I gave up. I said, I'll summon someone from the internet. The game launched in 2022, no one's around. So I was dejected enough that I stopped, and then I fired up Ghost Trick on the Switch. and I actually like played and beat that game, because I needed to morally recover and get my head back into the game for it. Great game, by the way. It's a lot of fun. And then we went back into war. I'd used Comet Azure more consistently, getting to the Elden Beast. Got him down to 20% once, and then he'll go to, no, I'm winning. And you fight with the Elden Beast and the camera, his mate.
And then sometimes he spams Elden Stars at you, so you have to run away from that. Then he spams the ones that come from the sky, and they go, and you have to run away from that. Then he's swiping his sword all at the same time.
That's too many things.
That's
and like then
impressive.
there's the one where there's the actual runes that come in, and you have to jump over them and all that
It's
stuff.
all happening at the same time.
And then that can happen at the same time as the things coming out of the sky.
Swoosh. Yeah, I'm fucked, and I'm just hurling abuse down the phone and then apologizing, because I'm like, just eat an Elden dick.
Well, Jay texts me, and I said, my first playthrough, I finally beat him after 7 hours with pest threads. So that's an incantation.
Got the bug menus.
That just track. You can't seemingly dodge them. Also, they do damage as they go through a large object, so they'd be useless against a small enemy like Radagon.
But if he's huge, they might be hitting multiple times.
They keep as they go through him, they keep hitting him. So that's how I got him down eventually. So I suggested that to Jay. You didn't try it, no?
It was like, that's a faith build, but I'm a magic build.
You only need like 15 faith.
It was like, well, how do I use that? It was like, oh, I have to buy these fingers. I was like, oh yeah. I never tried the pest threats.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and I just used focusing on the regular weapon spells rather than trying to Kamehameha. And then one run, Tish, she just had a great run, and it was like Bart, Lisa, and Milhouse are running away from the kids. Milhouse falls down. It's like, go on ahead without me, but take me with you. And so Tish carried me over the line.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me get the final hit. I'm trying to get my hit fast enough, but she rinsed them at the end.
You get the final hit.
Come on, like even I'm trying to do my cool pose, and like Tish is just walking into me by mistake. It's just not very cool at all.
Wait. The scarlet bloom flowers once more.
Number 16, Melania.
Yeah, we're in overtime, McMahon. No playthrough truly complete without her.
She's bullshit. She looks great. I love her area in which you fight her. I think she looks
beautiful.
cool.
Yeah.
And then her second phase with the rot wings and everything, it's beautiful. But just that waterfowl dance and the fact that she can gain so much health back. She's a boss that you need to summon because she's so difficult and it's so random, but you can't summon because she can get health back from attacking your summon. She's one of the bosses that I did beat, but I don't feel like I could go back and beat her again. I feel like if I went back and tried to beat her again, it could be 2 hours, it could be 5 hours, it could be days.
I was like, 5 hours. That's a mere trifling matter. What's 5 hours between friends? Just a final thought versus bosses. You know what I love about Elden Ring? Although it is punishing, it bolsters your resolve, your indignance, your spite, your willingness to smash your head against this brick wall, because at some point the blood will loosen the bricks. Piece by piece, it will come crashing down. You stand up to a boss 50 times your size, you've pulverized me, you've killed me, but you haven't beaten me. It might take 100 more of me, but sometime in the next 7 hours, you are going to die. I can resurrect, I can respawn, you cannot. I will live on and you'll be gone from existence. I will win because I persevered. And that's pretty fucking cool.
I like that.
And that is Soulsborne games in a nutshell. It is the amazing feeling of overcoming a difficult spike and feeling like you're amazing. And I would imagine it's something like giving birth, you know? Like, it must be the most painful thing that a human body can go through. But then when you've given birth and you get flooded with hormones and everything, you forget about it and you do it again, which is the next boss.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's harder than childbirth.
Our seed will look back upon us and recall an age of fracture.
Endings. There are 6. 4 of them basically the same where you sit on the throne. 2 side notes. One, I'm saddened we didn't actually get an Elden Ring. Like, there's no one ring in the game we can put on and then wreck house. You know?
Oh, I would love that.
The other thing I'm sad about is during a regular ending, I'm sad we couldn't resurrect Melina. We can live happily ever after as well.
Like, kind of, yay!
Yeah, you and me, baby. Yeah. We did it. We did it.
Frenzied Flame, aka the Chaos ending.
If you go down this route, Melina implores you to not, as it'll stop natural births from happening. It'll ruin the world. If you get the Frenzied Flame, she tells you we're parting ways, and if you become the Lord of Chaos, she'll hunt you down and murder you. Pretty cool. This is the least picked ending at 14.5%. I thought it was pretty fun because you have to kill Moog first, and Melina really lets you know how much of a bad choice it is.
You don't kill main Moog though, you kill the Moog in the subterranean shunning grounds under Lanedale.
Well done. And it's quite fun, like, if you watch the cutscene of it here, it's just, yeah, you brought unspeakable horrors upon the world. Well done. You know, they try to shame you into it.
Yeah, you know, because it was in such great shape beforehand, you know what I mean?
I will seek you as far as you may travel. To deliver you what is yours. Destined death. I do solemnly swear to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars.
And then we have Ranni's ending, which is obviously the best one because you get a new waifu.
The Age of Stars ending.
Which is the most popular chose ending at 27%.
I'm shocked at that because that is not the default ending is Elden Lord, so I would imagine that would be the highest on the list.
Yeah.
Because Ranni's questline is a bollocks. There's like 20 steps.
It's very long. Like I think in the lore of Elden Ring, I think Ranni's right. I think a world without death is awful. And I think it brings balance back to a world that's very much needed. But yeah, it takes a long time because you have to do so much. And like, you can miss it. Like, if you don't go back and let Fia hug you like a couple of times, you can absolutely miss it. Or if you don't talk to E.G. or Blythe, or if you don't see him down in the Shufra River, you know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to miss.
In the Shomer Culta.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know, Ranni's ending has a massive mistranslation? It's quite shocking as that's, you know, the most popular and so most important ending. The English translation points to doom, where the lands between is in for 1,000 nights of darkness full of fear, doubt and loneliness. Whereas the Japanese translation is that we are going on a long journey into the unknown, which is no doubt full of fear, doubt and loneliness. So the real ending, I think, is she's removing the Golden Order, making a new order. She and her followers are leaving the lands between and letting its inhabitants, for the first time, choose their own path, not guided by grace or the Erdtree or the old gods, but themselves.
You got another one, Jay. I did not know that.
Oh my God.
Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal.
Can I regale you of a theory I saw on YouTube, which I absolutely loved?
Yes.
Depending on the ending you pick, Elden Ring is the prequel to either Bloodborne.
It's
saw
the
this?
many worlds kind of theory where everything is connected.
Yeah, I love that idea. The Age of Stars ending is the prequel to Bloodborne because they plunged the world into darkness, and the big moon or in the sky, and then the Frenzied Flame one was Dark Souls 1. And then the other ending was the prequel to Demon Souls. But beautiful, beautiful theory, which I can't remember. I apologize.
That is cool, man. Like, that Elden Ring is the prequel to everything, and it spawned, like, you can have it like BioShock, you know, where every lighthouse is a different universe where something slightly different happens. You know, every Elden Ring ending is its own lighthouse and it spawns different worlds.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't everyone hate the ending to BioShock Infinite?
I think people have softened on it as time has gone by. I think people have realised how wrong they are and that it's actually the best BioShock. I'm saying it now. I love BioShock Infinite.
Because the internet is like, you know, you have two action figures, you know, get together. Everything fits together. I need to fucking place it in a position. And it's like, fucking just enjoy the thing.
But I agree. But at the
fun.
same time,
It's
it's nice to speculate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that does it for part 2 of our Elden Ring review, our deep dive. Stay tuned for some fun stuff coming up next in part 3. See you in a minute, cause it's stagger time.
May chaos take the wall! I am the great Jar Warrior, Iron Fist Alexander. Lend me strength, O warriors men. Let us become one champion together.
Long and hard didst thou fight, tarnished warrior, spurned by the grace of gold. Be assured, the Elden Ring resteth close at hand. Tarnished, thy strength befits a crown.
I'd be the head of
Frenzied Fire! Hey, part 3. Okay, things that are super fucking cool in Elden Ring. Obviously, the big one, character designs. I did mention it earlier, but I need to reiterate the characters are all so interesting. It reminds me of George Lucas in that a ton of his side characters, they don't have much of a backstory presented, but they look cool, have a cool name, they're interesting. It's kind of, we're draped in atmosphere, but we're not told much. It's like, who is Rani? She's got a cool hat, got 4 arms, got kind of a ghost face going on, but it's kind of up to your imagination. You know?
It's like poetry.
Or rhymes. The Turtle Pope! Oh my god. He's got a little Pope hat, and he's super nice to you as well, and he's telling you, hey, you can use the Celestial Dew, and, you know, to reset if you've angered any side quest people.
I did that once. You know, when there's an Albinaric village that gives you half of the medallion for the Halig tree.
Yeah.
He's in a pot and you're supposed to hit the pot once. He breaks out, but I was like, oh, that didn't work. I better hit again. Oh shit, I buffered an input and he's out of the pot and I'm going to hit him. Ran back to the bonfire or the side of grace. He'll be fine. Walk back up. Oh no, he's not fine. And I didn't know if I could kill him and still get the medallion. So I was like, I go to the church and cleanse your sins.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, he was absolutely fine.
By the way, question, when you are taking the lift down, do you sing the we're going We're going deeper underground. We're going.
It's the national anthem of Nokron, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about loving an elevator?
Excellent.
Can't believe we managed to talk about this game for like 4 hours already and not
Spoilers,
mention it.
I've cut like 2 hours out of this.
Yeah,
I can't believe we okay, yeah, but you know, they can still know we talked for this long. The first time you go down to the Shufra River in the lift, it's mind-blowing.
You go down and down and down and see an impossible sight. Deep in the cavern is a starry night sky. Beautiful and wondrous. What cannot be is in front of you.
Yeah.
But it's genius how they designed the game. There's so many moments like that. The first time you see Caelid, there's a big rock wall in front of you and you go up a hill and you have to jump over the wall with Torrent, and then you see Caelid and you're like, what the fuck is this mess of a place? This is miserable. You can't really see it from afar.
And I believe, like, is that the kind of wall that's kind of red?
Yes.
That's a wall that they built to literally burn the ground to keep the rot from going further. Okay. Yeah. Oh, 7.
Yeah, there you go. And then there's multiple, but there's another one where you walk. When you see Liurnia for the first time, you walk up a little slope and then you just see this lake covered in mist in front of you. It's just amazing moments.
Just about Nokron, the Eternal City. It is a false sky created by the Nox, the old Mike Nox. They worship Mike Nox.
Is it always 10:15?
It is. That's why it's nighttime, you know. Who were banished underground after they pissed off the Greater Will. I think they worship the moon outer god. Maybe the ones who give Renala and Rani their moon powers. We don't know. So they created it waiting for their Lord of Night to return.
Very nice.
Beholding the walking mausoleums. These giant turtles, but they're made of stone and with moss grown out of them. Big, you know, Greta Tuin vibes and a Discworld. I was getting that vibe off them. Amazing. You mentioned this earlier, but I need to special mention for the map. I was like, you know, start the game, starting area, Limgrave, that's nice. Caelid, ooh, we're in hell, that's cool. Marshy Swampland, which leads to Hogwarts, Ray Lucaria, that's sweet. And we have the capital city with the big golden Erd tree. You're solid. That's pretty big. I'm very happy with that. But as you get closer to the royal capital, uncovering more pieces of the map, it's like I could swear I can move higher on the map than I used to. And I was like, hang on, is there more? And then, you know, you get stuck on a bit and you watch a YouTube video. It's like where to get helpful items. And it's like, yeah, go to the Zaymore Ruins. Go to Ordina. And then it dawns on you, there's more and more and more and more. It just keeps going. And you get such a holy shit moment when the map extends.
It's staggering. There's a bit early in the game when you're in Liurnia and you go to the 4 belfries. And if you use one of your imbued stone sword keys, and if you use it in the right one, you can transport to crumbling Varamazula.
Wow.
Very early in the game. So on the map, you're in like the kind of like bottom left. And if you go there, then the map just absolutely zooms out and you're in the top right and you get to see the entire breadth of the map. And that's a mind-bending moment.
That entrance to Varamazula, there's like a couple of items there. There's nothing you can do. It's not like you can skip to Malekith or anything.
Okay.
From that point in the game.
No. Sure, okay. You're like probably level 17 to 30 at that point, and then you're going into an area where you're meant to be 120 or something like that.
It's just to hey, look at this.
Another cool thing, Radahn has his own festival, and a herald announcing the festivities welcomes the champions, not just you, to come face the mighty Radahn. Usually bosses are a solitary sad affair, but this one starts off pretty cheery.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously this video has tons of spoilers, but when you burn the Erd tree, 1, holy shit, but 2, the embers penetrate the entire world map. Everywhere you go, look at what you have done.
Look at the capital.
Leyendell, it's been turned to a barren sand dune wasteland.
Yeah.
And like, no torrent for you. You walk around and see what you've done, the devastation you've caused.
I do love the Leyendell capital of Ash in that you're like, oh, there's fuck all enemies here. I can just relax for a few minutes before I know there's going to be a boss rush.
Unless you go over, there's like a small wall. You go over and there's a couple of shinies that you want to get. It's like, bam! Ulcerated tree spirit.
Oh, there's for one of the trophies you need to get a talisman there, Air Tree Favorite +2. I was just like fucking Assassin's Gambit, which is an Ashavor that makes you not invisible but silences your footsteps and make you less visible. I was just like, bang, grab the fucking talisman and get the fuck out of there.
I was going to say, in my second playthrough, Air Tree Favor +2 is the first one that I use, because it basically means that you don't have to use the Arsenal Charm, but you also get extra health and stamina. Yeah, it's brilliant.
More of a Chelsea charm then.
Yeah.
There we go. That's it. Do you know the Ainsel River, your deep underground cavern? There's a giant skeleton sitting on a throne. And it's like not a boss, it's just, it's dead. Like, it's like the scale of it. It's insane.
Yeah.
What is it? Who was it? Are there more? How did you die? What killed you? Do you know?
This has got to be one of the ancients. Like, is this one of the giants that TLOU killed when he married Marika
and bore him to death?
And he went around and raised the entire planet.
Yeah.
And he killed all the giants. Like, is that one of those? I don't know.
Who knows?
You know, when you were talking earlier, when you're in Stormvale Castle and you go underneath and you get to the ulcerated tree spirit, was the first one. After you beat that, when you're climbing up the massive ladder at the other end, there's some space octopus. Yeah. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night.
Just a couple of other things that are just, breathtaking beauty. When you kick off with the Breath of the Wild moment where you open the cave door, the world opens up, you see the size, the scope, the beauty of the game. Did you know, as you step out, you can see several important landmarks? Well, of course, you got the giant Erd Tree, but right in front of you is Stormvale. Then you have the broken bridge to the Divine Tower of Limgrave, Godric's Great Rune. And also, if you look, the Giant's Cup that you eventually use to set the Erd Tree alight.
Oh, wow.
Didn't see it. Didn't see it.
So didn't know that, no.
From the very first shot when you enter Limgrave. Incredible world design.
But one thing I do frequently is I stand, you go up a particular tower, a divine tower, and you're like, oh, that's a nice view. And you go to the map and it shows you where you're pointing, where you're looking, and you're like, oh, that's that in the distance. I love doing that, getting the world straight in my head. I know where, I know where things are.
Brilliant.
Shout out to Capital City. It is gorgeous. Golden roofs, if you're from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Blooming plant pots and well-kept rooms. It's nice to be not in a shithole. Kind of like King's Landing, in Game of Thrones. A few awe-striking things.
There's the massive dragon with the big bolt. Like, come on. It's incredible.
And then you can wind up these like massive branches. You're so close to the Erd Tree. It's awe-inspiring. And of course, in the capital, you're searching the castle, come across a room that is laid out very familiarly. 2 doors, alcove, small steps. There's a table of lost grace. I was like, I immediately stopped and fast traveled back to the round table hall to make sure everyone's not dead. Do you know what's going on here? So yeah, there's a second?
I think it's believed that that's the proper round table hold and the other one is just a projection or an illusion. I'm not sure. That's what I heard anyway. But I don't know why. It's
like one is for the Golden Order and the round table hold that we is for the Tarnished.
Maybe.
And so they built their I genuinely don't know.
So we're playing an away game is what
you're
the wrong locker room for this. And just the Halleck Tree. Incredible, like 120 hours in I was playing and I'm finding new areas. Not just a cave, but a multiple zone region with a freaking plaza. I have to say, least fun for me was wandering around a blizzard.
Yeah, man.
That's just shite.
Oh, that's until you kill the dragon and then it clears or something, is it?
Like
no, you reach a grace and it clears.
Oh, okay.
But it's a consecrated snowfields and it wouldn't be so bad, but for the fact that there's a massive ghost giant that comes out of nowhere and kills you at one shot.
Like, I did enjoy the lights out boss fight of the Fell Twins, but that's just a special area before you get the Great Rune. Like, that's fine, But this is just a big area. It's like, oh. Okay, I got some improvements that Miyazaki, if he's listening.
Yeah, of course he is.
Got some suggestions for you. 1, a fucking pause button.
I got that as a comment.
Really? What have you said?
Okay, so the only FromSoft game in terms of like Souls, I don't know about Armored Core, I haven't played it yet, but in terms of Demon Souls, Dark Souls, 1 to 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro's the only one with the pause button. And it changes the game because you're in a boss fight, you press pause and you can change your loadout. So it wouldn't make things too easy, but it would make things ridiculously less difficult. Because say, you're panicking, you're like, fucking shit, what the fuck am I doing? And you need to plan meticulously for a boss fight. Because during that boss fight, you don't got time for shit.
Yeah.
You need to have everything where you need it. On your triangle menu, on your D-pad menu. If you had a pause button and were able to change your loadout, say between Radagon and Elden Beast, it would change the game. I think you'd lose a lot from it. What I would say is, why not have a pause button during a boss battle it's just pause. You can't do anything.
You can't do anything.
It was like if you go to the menu, you're still in the game. And I was like on the PS5, I minimized the taskbar. I'm still in the game. I woke up, I turned it back on, I'm dead.
Dead.
What happened? Where's my runes?
Yeah.
Do you know? I just want to scratch my nose, but all my fingers are being used,
The claw.
Yeah.
There is a way to pause the action.
Oh.
So you have to press start. You've got to go into your menu. You've got to go down to like the save. And when you go into the save function, that will pause the actual action.
There's an alternative to that. Press pause, go to inventory, press the touchpad, and then go to view controls or something like that. I've done it. I paused the game, but I've never paused it during a boss fight. I'd be panicking too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, you can't copy save files. That'd be too nice. So you make choices or choices are made for you. Tough shit. Start again from the start if you want.
You have to do it manually.
Can you copy save files?
You have to upload a save file to the cloud, and then you have to disable automatic upload. And so then you can reload that save file, which is how on my first playthrough I got the platinum, because I was able to watch all of the endings.
Yeah, you save scum. I did it this morning. Yeah.
That's not save scumming.
I think it is.
No, I'm not paying 600 hours to get a platinum. Come on. I'll give you 100.
3 endings will give you the platinum. No, I'm not doing it either.
Just with the UI, I'd love to be able to filter weapons by if you have the stuff to upgrade it.
Love it.
As opposed to just darkening it and you still have to go through it. Same with comparing items to consider purchasing them. There is a comparison with R3 options, but like it's not very nice looking, or it's not very good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind an overhaul of that.
Yep.
Just with the controls, you bring up the map with the touchpad. Can you not close the map with the touchpad? Do you know?
He hates that
yeah.
so much.
Oh my God.
You're absolutely right though.
Crouch and move are the same L3.
Yep.
Can they not be? Can we have something else? Because like, if you put any kind of pressure on the L3 during a boss fight, you and you just get smashed. So
it's L3 shouldn't be a thing for that reason. You're under pressure. You're moving
use
the left stick.
R3,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But I agree. Do they have the option to have it to like hold rather than, like on off?
No,
because that usually helps, because if you accidentally press it, then you just have to let go and they'll get up, as opposed to, click.
They don't. Yeah, but,
Okay.
I don't have an answer to that because it uses every button to give you all of these options, so they don't really have an extra button to map it to.
Can I just say, be thankful that the controls are as good as they are, because in some other Souls games, the way there's jump in Elden Ring and Sekiro, fine, but the other Souls games don't have jump, but you could do a kind of running leap. And I think in some of the games it's L3. So it
is.
Is it?
Yeah, you have to sprint and you have to press L3, but the delay between pressing it and jumping is like a fucking second nearly. And there's one place in Bloodborne, it's in a cathedral, it's before you fight Grievances, the daughter of the Cosmos or whatever, and there's a bit where you're running on the side and you have to jump over. I died so many times to that.
Amygdala? Is it amygdala?
No.
Okay.
I think it's Grievances or something.
Okay.
It's some space wart kind of thing. Yeah.
And believe me, if it frustrates you with the crouch, this jumping mechanic with L3,
it's really bad.
Really?
It's like
I'll be out. Will I?
I don't know, man.
It's one of those things where I was playing and I was like, how did this get past playtesting? In no way, shape or form should this have made it onto any final game.
Can I have some kind of checklist to let me know which sacred tears and golden seeds I've gotten?
quality of life.
Yeah, like a map or a scroll that you find in one of the caves. How about a GTA ticker where after you've talked to someone, it'll have a short text. This is what they said. Like they said, go here and get this.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So you
Quest
can,
log.
so you can refer back to it.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
And can we have one that tells you what you just picked up as well? Because like when you're in a fight and there's like Flappy Birds going blah, blah, blah at you, and it's like you're trying to fight them off, and it comes up on screen. Hey, you've picked up this, and you're like, accept, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Off my fucking screen.
Yeah.
That has killed me. There's not many cases in this game where I would say this game design is bad, but that's one of them. I think that's crazy that made it into the final game.
Just on outfits, being able to save outfits. Like this is my outfit versus magic versus...
Loadouts.
Yeah.
How about loadouts, not just outfits?
Yeah.
I got my boss loadout. I've got my exploring loadout. Yeah, I'd love that.
How about if you wanted to change outfits but keep the buffs of a different attire? Like if you had some kind of magical shield thing, which like, okay, I'm really wearing Radahn's helmet, but I put on something that I like that looks better.
But you would like to keep the +2 strength buff that comes with it.
Exactly,
okay.
yeah.
So that's a thing that's in other games. It's called
Neo.
transmogrification.
Oh, just like Calvin and Hobbes.
Where you can keep the ability of something and change how it looks.
That's Neo, which is one of the best Souls-likes. You can do that.
And a fantastic podcaster as well.
Light
streaking. And just having a cleaner or just a nicer UI for comparing stats of armor in general. I suggest having a wardrobe area in the round table hold, possibly a changing area in Fia's chambers, just she'd be well into it. Do you know?
Yeah.
I would like a little
like
hole.
a Batman, like the Batcave where he's got the suits.
Exactly.
You like a bit of that?
Yeah,
okay.
Kind of like, I want to say it was like Assassin's Creed 2. You had your kind of home base. It was on some like hill. It's like Monteriggioni or something like that. And as you get armor and weapons, it will unlock rooms. And you will get like paintings and like dummies that wear armor, and your weapons will be on the wall. Something like that would be really nice.
Okay.
Okay, you do have that in Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, no, sorry, Breath of the Wild. In Breath of the Wild, where you can go into your gaff. You have to do a quest to get your gaff, and then you can have different weapons on the wall. So it's pretty cool. The new ones, it's like Zelda's definitely living there because she took them down, put up pictures of friends instead.
Pictures of friends.
Smile. Click snap.
I got 2 real grievances for you. Actual grievances. 1, hidden passages. Having to hit shit like it's a Metroid game.
Oh, you don't know, Jay. You don't know. This game is very nice with them. Isn't there like a wall in like Bloodborne or one of the Dark Souls where you had to hit it like 80 times or something?
No, that's actually in Volcano Manor and Elden Ring. But it doesn't bleed you in. It's just for fun. It leads you into a room that you've already got access to.
Oh, okay.
But I agree. They're called illusory walls. They're not called secret walls because you can see the wall. So they're illusory walls. However, they're more obvious in Elden Ring. Like they're always basically like under an arch.
Yeah.
You're like, that looks out of place. Hit. But still, why am I hitting fucking walls?
Yeah.
Like if there is a precedence for it, there's one in Caelid, a cave that you have to hit it to get in. And then it's okay, it's this illusory wall place. And you have to do it a few times to get in and get like that's grand because it's at the start it says, hey, hidden walls. Grand. But just the ones that are like, haha, it was a different part of the catacomb, no.
Yeah.
Real complaint. Towards the end, it does get a bit repeaty, a bit sluggy. Like repeated bosses, like now in a 2-pack. Like the golden jerks on horseback, now fight 2. Find a bit roadblocky. Godskin, you fight them in singles matches, now a handicap match. Holla holla. Mountaintop the Giants is a bit empty in general. Like,
it's very empty, yeah.
It's only
beautiful, man.
Well, the fog.
Other than the blizzard,
yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
Like when I saw the fire giant, I was like, thank God there's someone here. I thought I was about to leave without anyone, and then I regretted it immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah. In the Halig tree, there's no unique enemies. Like we've already seen the Marshmallow Lads, which I think is a shame. They should just be in the capital. the ants, demi-humans, the Ray Lucaria lads, Loretta. Like, it's still awesome and it's an interesting place, but it's just kind of not new.
It also has the snails
Yes.
and the crystallians.
Very good. It's just weird the Halig tree is quarantined off the map in general. Like, you have to warp to get there. So I was like, was that supposed to be DLC? And Melania is there and she's not a boss from the game. Do you know, the storyline boss?
I don't know.
Do you know?
Well, Melania's in the cutscene. The opening cutscene.
Yeah.
She's prominent, so they'd hardly have her in the trailer for the base game if she's only DLC.
Lesser companies might have put her as a DLC, but like FromSoft is like, here you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the blade of Mikola, Melania the Seventh.
Just a personal problem with RPGs, not Elden Ring specifically, it's too numbery. Like, you're in menus comparing stats and needling numbers for hours on end. There's too many things to change, too many changeable stats, having to change your physic and your spells and your type of clothing, the right talismans, equip boluses. It's too in-depth for me. I just want to play the game. I don't want to hire an accountant.
Like,
Right.
I'd argue that getting bogged down in that stuff, I think that means you spend too long watching other people talk about the game. Because my playthrough, I didn't get bogged down. I just put points into things that I thought I needed, and I never felt like I was lacking.
He's too good. You see?
He's good. That's the problem.
You should suck
He's
more.
actually good. Like,
Yeah.
I think you only need to get bogged down into the numbers and the stats and stuff like that if you're really going to min-max builds and like maximize gains and all that stuff. Otherwise, just play the game.
This is someone who doesn't die repeatedly from hours on end for every boss.
Like, you don't have to panic. You know what I mean? Just play
See,
it.
that was your problem. You don't have to panic.
You can
panicking.
choose to panic.
Yes.
I'll choose to panic. Thank you.
That's your problem.
Like, you don't have to fret over choices. Like, is what I'm getting at.
I disagree. But you're good. We're shit.
Yeah.
So we need to make any decision we make is critical. It's the difference between life and death.
Mostly death. I choose death.
And by the way, I first played through very basic. Second, I was enjoyed and spent a lot of time of my 250 hours looking at numbers, and I got a lot out of it. So you can choose to do that or not, and that's one of the great things about the game. And I chose to enjoy and thoroughly enjoyed that aspect. I have a few quibbles.
Yes, please.
If you'd entertain. Steve, do you have any quibbles?
Yeah, you work
Okay.
right.
Now, a couple of them are going to be general FromSoft quibbles.
Okay.
Specific to Elden Ring, we've touched on it, the never-ending boss combos.
Oh, they
And
just won't let you get a smack in.
There's no openings. Well, there are, but they're so few and far between, and varying delays in their attacks. It's not just that, this is a boss that will delay his attack 3 seconds, and he'll delay once. No. Sometimes they'll delay 3, sometimes they'll delay 2, sometimes they'll delay 1, sometimes there's no delay. You know, great and all, but I watch a lot of Joseph Anderson videos. I don't know if you've ever seen his stuff. He does like long form reviews of these kind of games. And he made the point, he believes that the game was built to use summons because in general with these games, normal mode is you've got a sword and you go up and learn a boss's attack patterns and you kill it. And then potentially easy mode is magic. I mean, you know, it is, but you know, it is. But
what the hell is other mode if this is easy mode?
But in this game, easy mode is magic plus summons. Normal mode is summons, and hard mode is no summons, no magic. I don't like generally the FP bar idea. For people who don't know, the blue bar, the magic bar. So, okay, I'm going to equip Glintstone Shard. Another one, Night Comet. I'm going to equip Night Comet, and that has 20 uses. So you know going into battle how much of each spell you have to use. I love that idea. Whereas you're sharing flasks here. So for a mage build, you're making major decisions that have a massive impact, and you're always worried you won't have enough FP. And it's so hard to gauge how much FP you're going to need. So look, it varies depending on the FromSoft game. I prefer the idea of this is how much you have.
Finite uses
exactly
per run, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
Minor quibble, but it's quality of life. Please let us upgrade weapons at the site of grace. I don't want to have to fucking go back to Round Table Hole and go and talk to the blacksmiths.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just annoying. And
you can also go to EG.
Yeah, but who's going to go to him? And he dies. It's only Dark Souls 1, I think, that you can do it at a bonfire, which is it's just quality of life. And then the other thing is, please stop me having to run around the entirety of your base camp, whether it be Firelink Shrine in Dark Souls or Round Table Hold in Elden Ring, because say I go to the Twin Maiden Husks to buy smithing stones. Then I have to run all the way out there and go to the blacksmith and I need more smithing stones. I go, I need to go back to him. I need to go back to them. It's such a waste of time.
Lads, when I show up, just stand in a line.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Why can't
Who else
you
are you
move
waiting
in
for?
there or you move in there? It's frustrating. It's just a waste of my time. General FromSoft games, including Elden Ring, the lore, I do appreciate that I can skip it and I don't have to watch long and boring cutscenes. I would like if it made a little bit more sense, please. That's all. And then finally, secrets. You alluded to it with the illusory walls, but secrets and quest lines. I'm not expecting to be spoon-fed, but like, if I didn't follow a guide to get the Platinum Trophy, I would be fucking lost. I wouldn't have a fucking clue how to finish Rani's quest or get the Frenzied Flame.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice old list.
List.
You guys have touched on most of the things. Something that hasn't come up, stealth. I think the stealth in this game sucks.
Yes.
I think it's garbage.
Yes.
I think
with the talisman and
yeah, it's crap.
I think the only thing it's good for is taking out one guy or getting one backstab or one charged or two into a more powerful guy. Because as soon as you hit attack one, everyone knows you're there and then you're back to playing Souls. So I think stealth is either something that needs to be completely reworked if they're going to do a sequel, or just take out, because I don't think it adds anything to the game at all.
Okay. Do you have anything else? Or can I...
No, that's pretty much all the big stuff.
Music in Elden Ring is usually just kind of moodscape. You know, it's just, you're in a scary land. Here's scary. It's like, what's the Limgrave song?
I like the Limgrave song.
I also do.
I like it.
It sounds like a bee that's too close to your ear. Any songs in Elden Ring that you liked?
I like the background music in the open world. It's relaxing. And I love the Radagon theme, like that's the main Elden Ring theme, basically.
It's amazing.
But what I did towards the end of the game, I turned off the music for the bosses because you can concentrate more.
Okay, wow. It's not because the fight was great, but you know the giant ghost deers? I think it's like the regal ancestor. Their song is probably my favorite in the entire game. It's like this like very kind of somber elven sad song. I just think it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so I didn't find most of the music particularly memorable. But do you know the giant female bats, the harpies, the queen of the harpies,
The ones that sing at you?
Yeah. I was like, oh, they have quite a sad song. And you go up to them and they're minding their own business. They're crooning up the sky. And I was like, you kind of R3 and you can target them. And it's like, well, you've got a red health bar, so I'm sorry. Yeah! But what they were singing, because they used to be alive and now they're tarnished, they're singing in Latin, which is weird for Elden Ring, but the song is about they were supposed to be mothers and now that they're tarnished, they have no purpose in life. And so it's like a sad lament.
Is that on the list of 6, Jay?
Where I'm at 4.
You were. I did not know that.
Bang,
well done.
5.
Well done.
We are.
You did well.
Rounding.
You did well.
Rounding it. I love it.
He did well. They're ugly motherfuckers.
Sed nemonos consolatur aureum cuiras cebaris.
I wasn't sure where to put this in it, but I just it was important to me, so I need to tell you about it. Jay's top 10 enemies that can fuck off. Don't get me wrong, Elden Ring is beautifully crafted and I won't say fun, but it is an emboldening and motivating and addicting game to play. I am not talking about difficult enemies or mini-bosses who are supposed to be overcome. I'm talking creatures that you meet during regular gameplay that suck the joy out of exploring. And I don't even want to kill you, just no thanks.
How long till we get to the lobsters?
Oh, they're not on my list.
Really?
You don't
wow.
I call them crawfish, but yeah. Go for it, man. Number 10.
The giant soldier archers. Stop being so accurate. Smashing me from the next town over. You assholes. Like, pinpoint accuracy from these giant stone golems. Like, imagine the size of the carrots they must eat to get that eyesight.
And the tracking.
Yeah.
It's like there's one, is it in Caelid, where you're on a cliffside and they're way down there and they just see it and they're, ooh.
And then there's like 3 when you're going up to the capital entrance when you have to beat the draconic tree sentinel. They're wildly accurate. Dickheads.
Number 9.
Academy sorcerers. They camp at the top of staircases and wave their wand. It's like fighting a shitty me. If I was wearing a giant Burger King head. It's just a slog.
In the early game, that run up to the Red Wolf is very difficult because you're getting blasted out of it.
And you have to cross them to get to Renala. You have to go through a few of them and they always give you a hit. And you just, come on. Anyway.
Number 8.
The archers in Ordina, where you have to light the 4 torches to open a path to the Halig tree, who shoot at you from the rooftops. And it's like, you're physically only moving, 20 meters? But that takes 2 hours because they just, gotcha. A
lot of archers here, Jay. I was waiting for the bull archers down the Jumper River.
Assassin's Gambit, my friend, will do that for you. Because you're too far away from them to see you. Run up to them, smack.
Oh, okay. Like that whole town can get it. I didn't enjoy opening. Yeah.
Number 7.
Speaking of accurate motherfuckers, that one marshmallow at the Halig tree, when you're almost at the whatever plaza, and he's like,
dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
That run from when you first landed at Halig tree to the first site of Grace, for me, was one of the most frustrating things in the entire game because of the marshmallow lads.
Especially for me, that I wanted to pick up every single item.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's a stone sword key at the end of the fucking branch. How am I going to make it?
I only have 18.
Yeah, exactly.
Just by the way, I'm not counting any mini bosses or higher because they're notable enemies. They're supposed to halt you, flummox you. So this is the jobbers, you know.
Yeah. Number 6.
Claymen. They're only underneath the ground, thank God, or to hamper the enjoyment of the game. They're just hit sponges that appear in clusters, and combating them halts the game. So you just avoid them. You don't engage.
In certain sections you can use torrent, in others you can't. But yeah, if you got torrent, fucking just run past them. They're so slow.
Same thing for
number 5.
Ink blots, especially the electric ones where you have to clear an entire swarm of them before passing.
Are these the dudes in Nocron and Nocstella? They're so annoying.
Fire pots. It helps because it's got an area of effect.
Yeah. What about the ones that when you get close to them and they poof and they change into people?
Doesn't happen often enough to be annoying.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and there's one who turns into a giant troll.
Oh, I haven't met that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to stop and spam and hit them. And a special sort off to the inkblots who hide on the ceiling and jump down on you for Squidgy Iron Maiden.
Classic FromSoft gotcha.
Is it?
Oh yeah, they do it in every game. There's always shit in the ceiling that's going to jump on you.
Yeah.
And by the way, you know what this game doesn't have? Mimic chests. We discussed it before, where they're chest. Oh, you get excited. Shiny. Yeah. Oh, it turns into a massive monster that bites me to death instantly.
I love that.
Well, thank you, FromSoft.
If you actually just take like 5 seconds before you open a chest and watch them, you can see them actually breathe.
Oh.
And the way the chain lies on the ground is different if they're a mimic chest, by the way.
In what game is this?
Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and Demon Souls, I think. And Bloodborne, I think.
I think was a Bloodborne, yeah.
Speaking of getting Pearl Harbored.
Number 4.
The jerkbag soldiers that hide in the corner of rooms.
And imps in catacombs as well, because they have bleed.
Yes. But why are you just running into a room, you moron?
There is a prize with an
there's a shiny. Yeah.
And when you try
that's how he gets you.
It's like, you were greedy and here's your punishment.
Oh, Miyazaki, you got me again.
I don't feel as bad. In kayfabe, it's literally their job to protect the area and lure in greedy guts like me. Fair enough.
Number 3.
Skeletons that regenerate. Fuck off, mate. I've already beaten you. And now I can't target you because you're on the ground. So
it's annoying.
And see if I hit you.
Holy damage, man. Holy damage.
Yeah, which is why in my second playthrough, when I went for the Faith build, in my offhand, I have a Holy Sword. So when I'm down in the catacombs, I kill them with that.
Oh, okay.
Number 2.
Dags.
The Dags.
Dags! The dogs are why the list was created. Undead, four-legged, toothy bastards with erratic movements. They close the distance quickly, jump in circles, and are generally very difficult to hit. They bite like a motherfucker. Because, I take on this ogre, beat the ogre, and then his dog, Pet, comes in. Oh, I got you.
They can hit you like 4 times and go, nah, rah, rah,
Yeah.
and I'll see your dogs and I'll raise your rot dogs.
Yeah.
Because they actually are one of the most dangerous enemies in the entire game. Like the most dangerous mobs,
But that is why in exploring, I think a shield is 100% physical damage negation shield is really important for little enemies like that. They'll just bounce off a shield, you can guard counter them. Same for the imps in the catacombs and smaller enemies like that, rats as well. Just hold up a shield when you're walking anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just hold up a shield in general just in case one comes out.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't need Godfrey and the rest to protect the Erd Tree. Just get like 6 dogs. They'll do the trick.
So how about you do your honourable, then we do ours?
Yeah.
And then you
before
do
you do number 1.
Okay.
Honourable mention.
Giant birds that don't even have to have knives for feet, but they still cut you. They're so fast. They glide so quickly. You can barely get a shot off. But they're late game, so fair enough. And after you've died a few times, you know their location, so you can kind of prepare for it. So
okay,
they're not late game. Warhawks are in Stormvale Castle.
Yeah.
They have knives on their talons. Knives
they drop explosive barrels on you?
No, they're early game, man. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, I don't have to name mine because that was mine. So having a purely melee build, dealing with enemies that fly is a nightmare. It's really annoying. Sky, yeah.
And even blocking with the shield, they'll fly behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a nightmare. They're on my list.
Wow.
Okay, good.
I've got, you call them lobsters, I call them crawfish.
Snipers from miles away.
And you think to yourself, say in the subterranean shunning grounds, there's 2, maybe even 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I need to go down there because the Lanedale catacombs are down there. So I'm going to fucking get them with fire arrows. Oh no, he got me from 100 meters away. Oh, I'm dead now. Okay, I have to fight them head on. Oh shit, they're tanky as fuck and they do massive damage and they're erratic. Horrible. Way worse than crabs.
Oh, yes. Okay. And
number 1.
The worst enemy. The one I hate the most. Giant hands.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, unless you have flame.
See, they run like freaky spiders and that they just diddle you and take your health.
Yeah.
They give you the giant middle finger, which freezes you in place so they can run up to you, scurry, and have their wicked way with you. They creep me out. They're really fast. They deal a ton of damage. In short, I hate you.
I completely agree and I forgot about them.
I also did, but they're creepy and they're fearsome.
They have a visceral effect when you're playing the game, like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
And then they hide under the ground and you step in them to get a shiny, bang, you're dead.
Yeah.
What about the massive ones in the consecrated snowfields? They're even bigger than the big
giant
ones.
hands,
like the giant hands.
Yeah. The big man hands.
Oh my God. Terrifying.
And they have them in, if you're trying to do Dung Eater's quest, the body of Dung Eaters at the other side of this, and you have to go in and there's like loads of diddlers about, and I was like, I don't want to now.
Yeah.
See you later. Sorry, Dung Eater.
There's one under the ground there.
Yeah. So if you have more, please tell us in the comments. I'd love to read them.
They'll be cursed, along with their children, and their children's children.
And your children's children. For 3 months.
So the game world, it's quite depressing. Throughout my playthrough, I kept thinking of how alone you are. Sure, Melina checks in every 15 hours. That's hardly company. Everything is looking to kill you. You don't forge many positive relationships. Even the ones you do make. Either they turn heel on you, like Blad or Gideon, or they call themselves a failure and die mysteriously, like E.G. Melina's whole deal is to sacrifice herself to burn the Erd Tree, as in, to die. So you're alone. Unlike, say, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, where you rally champions from across the map of different races and you bandy together to big boot and leg drop Ganon, live together, die alone style. Elden Ring is live alone, die alone. In short, FromSoft have created a depressingly bleak and foreboding world filled with misery, grudges, and hate. So here's a quick whip round of more smile-inducing foibles of the land between. Happy things in Elden Ring. Radahn has a pet cat. A talisman depicting this long-tailed cat. Fortunately, cut content. So it's not canon.
Because there is a talisman with a cat. It's like you take less fall damage or something, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if it got repurposed.
The boiled prawn salesman, Boggart, the big bog man, is a massive carny. He sells prawn, but it's not really prawn. So much so that when you buy crab, which is delicious, it tells you, unlike the prawn sold, this is truly crab.
Very good, very good.
Rani isn't tall, but pretty tall sitting in her chair. And she's surrounded by books. And it's like, not because she's a clever clogs, because she's literally sitting on a pile of books to appear taller.
That's awesome.
What, somebody stripped that away,
So if you clip through her cloak, you can just see the books covered with a blanket.
I'll just let you know that the people who clipped through that cloak were not looking for books. Miyazaki likes, and I do think this goes to like Japanese games in general, they do model female characters to be very kind of doll-like. And Miyazaki kind of took it to the next level in Bloodborne and in Elden Ring by having actual doll characters. But when you go to the Great Rune Tower, when you get to the top of it, you see a body that's there. And that is Rani's body. And if you look closely at it, she's got bits of hair that are left on the burnt body and it's red. So it's the same color as her brother's and her father's hair.
No way.
They're all gingers. Is that something else you didn't know?
I did not know that.
There we go.
Well done, Steve.
Dags! Gowry's dog. You know, he's smiling there and panting. He has a thorny dog collar because he's a good boy.
Yeah.
There's also one dog in the royal capital that won't attack unless you shoot him. Due to his proximity trigger being in a different part of the map.
No way.
Oh, wow.
What, that was a mistake? Like?
Yeah, so he just sits there panting and smiling at you, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Lieutenant de Albanorac sits beside her dying giant dog. It's sad, but it's sweet. Her only ask is to bring her to the Halleck Tree to see her sister, which you can do. Similarly, you can use your jellyfish summons when you meet a stray lone jellyfish, reuniting a brother and sister.
The only 3 times I used summons was Lieutenant. It was
3.
You have to for the quest.
I only used it once.
So you didn't fancy completing the quest lines. The other was the jellyfish in that situation. And in order to open one of the rises and consecrated snowfields, you need to summon the fanged imp ashes and kill an imp while they're summoned, and then the door will open.
Very good, very good. Raya, the shape-shifting woman / lizard in Volcano Manor, is quite funny. She has an arched back. She's like, which makes her look quite lizardy, you know? She seems very nice and quite sad, like her birth is a mystery. She's told it's of noble blood and definitely not a mistake of a hideous ritual. But she's very, you know, she's got lots of positivity though. I think it's just the way lizards' heads are, but when you look at her, it's like she's always smiling.
Okay, that's cool because there's like a second kind of case like that where there's a character that isn't as they seem, and there's the guy in the shack in Caelid, and he sits weird and it's like
Gary. Yeah,
that's him. Yeah, and
for Millicent's quest. Yeah.
And he's got his arms out, and then obviously then you hit him, and he's one of the little rock seaman dudes.
That's if you don't complete Millicent's quest, he turns into one of those things. If you do, he just disappears. I think when you kill him.
Oh.
But then when you rest and you go back, he is there again.
Okay.
And he basically says, have you learned anything, or are we going to have to do this again until you do learn?
I didn't try that.
Yeah.
Very good.
There you go. Another thing.
Bok, the ugly monkey-looking yoke, who hates how cretinous he is, and it's like, yeah, I agree, you know, and wants to be reincarnated as another soul, which you can. Turn him human would rock hard pecs, and he'll die. Or you can teach him to love himself if you James Blunt him and give him the mask that says,
"You're beautiful."
Yeah. One of those derpy co-op masks. It says it reminds him of his mum who used to tell him that.
Yeah,
And now he has the confidence to fight alongside you.
I was like, there's no way I'm wasting a larval tear on this guy. Yeah, so that's why I used the other option. Yeah,
yeah, he does.
I don't think I even met this.
Yeah, he doesn't give you much.
Yeah.
The guy who's the bush?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can avoid Sorcerer Selen meeting a fate worse than death, being a giant moaning ball with others. Just don't tell her about where Lusat is. That's it. And she'll live happily ever after.
But hold on, she's initially held captive by Celavis.
Mm-hmm.
And then you meet her in Renala's boss room and you kill Radan's festival organizer and then you get some shit off her. And then she turns into a ball. So I want that shit. So that's why I'll have her as a ball, please, so I can get her stuff. Like, yeah.
I'm sorry, you're a ball.
Please remove your ball.
Okay, final thing. Your 3-pack of dogs spirit summons, their backstory is they were chased off from the rest of the pack and have found their home with you.
In a Pokeball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're happy now because you're their dad. Like, isn't that great?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, did you enjoy that? There you go.
Very
happy
nice.
Things.
Very
so
nice.
So don't delve into the rest of Elden Ring and what happens to all these characters. It's, there's no happiness to be found.
They all lived happily ever after.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you have any favorite side quests?
I have no input on side quests, Steve.
No, not really. It's like, it's one of those weird things. Like, I feel like the story of them gets lost because you can go so long without doing the next part and there's no quest log and, like it doesn't really jog your memory. My favorite one is definitely Ranni's quest because I quite enjoyed the characters and I liked what Ranni was doing. I think it was good. But yeah, they're fine.
Did you know the bit where you give her her ring and she turns back to normal again? As like she was kind of sitting on the 2 fingers, and it was like it was like split in half. And I was just thinking of like, how big does the slice of paper need to be for someone to give that paper cut?
Oh my god!
I know.
Just give me a good smack from the rear with something nice and big.
Tips for first-time players. Because everyone watching this video, like, come on, the 3 of us have played it. You're going to play it too, right? Like, I'm basically talking to myself here if I were to start fresh. Obviously, Fextra Life at the ready. Vati Vidia's YouTube video. Iron Pineapple's YouTube videos. That'll sort you for 12 hours. Upgrading, use runes so you can level up / get stronger using these runes. At the roundtable hold, your safe space, you can upgrade your spirit summons with Roderica and your weapons with Hugh. I did think it's quite funny every time you see Hugh, like, oh, you're not dead yet. And I was like, even if you X out of talking to him and go back in, he's like, oh, you're not dead yet.
No, it's ridiculous.
Mate, we're still talking. My main bit of advice, besides make sure you're leveling up your health, because you have to be able to eat a few hits, is about losing runes. It's important to reframe your mindset about runes. Like, you're supposed to die. You're supposed to lose your runes. But the runes you get from normal game pales in comparison to what you get for defeating bosses and mini-bosses. So, although it feels like a lot, it's really not that bad at all.
And as soon as you beat a boss, relax, you can spend them straight away. I can't think of a time where you have to run anywhere.
Yeah,
I love
because
that.
you usually get a grace right away. Yeah.
It's part of the game. Don't twist yourself into knots about it. Everyone who has played Elden Ring has lost hundreds of thousands of runes by getting too greedy or too cocky.
You reach a point later in the game where one of your cracked tears bubbles, you can have that you don't lose runes. So I'm like a very cautious gamer, and once I found that was always on my bubble.
Well, I've got a shitload of sacrificial twigs. That's a talisman you can equip that you lose it instead of runes on there.
Yeah, I think I have about 6 of them or something like that.
I think I have 7. But yeah, just this is the intended experience. Soft caps. Here is a table on screen to look at soft caps. When you level up, you'll hit a number where the rewards get much less, as in they're not as worth it. So the soft cap of vigor is 40, as in after level 40, you'll see much smaller increases with leveling up. And then there's another at 60. So look into other stats at that point. Mind 35 is great. Don't go past 55. Endurance 25 to 30, but 50 is the cap.
Oh, so you're saying, because I'm going to do an int build next time, so you're saying 35 mind is enough?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, maybe 1:1 intelligence to vigor. But just, that's the thing that got me the most, just not having enough health. My strategy for a boss, see what you think. You're fighting a boss, you're going to die a few times. That's just a given. So first few times should be an exploratory fact-finding mission. Find out what type of attack he does, magic, physical, / holy, that kind of thing. And you can switch armor to suit it. Then you're like, are there any better talismans I can wear? Are there, what about consumables? What about physic? And move your physic to the D-pad as well. The kind of triangle.
Move.
'Cause you're only going to use it once.
Yes.
Move torrent.
Yeah.
So I had him on up. I had my lantern on left.
Oh, I had it on down.
Okay. Down, I had my mimic, which is
didn't need
this is my first tier.
Yeah.
Sorry, just my first playthrough. And right, my bubble tea. Physic.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, one of the first things turn off motion control. It's one of the most frustrated. I am not sitting there perfectly fucking still playing a game. Miyazaki, what are you thinking, mate? When I want to open a chest or go to a site of grace, I don't want to accidentally move my pad in such a way that I'm going to start cheering or something like that. So turn off motion controls entirely. It will save you minutes of annoyance.
He's talking about the, what are they called? Gestures?
Or gestures, whatever, yeah.
Like I kept doing the erudition one, which takes ages.
Yeah.
Including in boss fights.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh God, I'm dead.
Did you get more respect from the bosses? And if all else fails, just YouTube search name of boss cheese and see what they do. This is important. This is something you had to teach me many hours in, is activating great runes. When you do kill an important boss, he or she, if she's a perv, drops a great rune. This is a special ability, but you need to activate it first. You activate it in a tower in that area. E.g., you killed Radahn and Caelid, so his tower is in Caelid. And at the top, restore power to it. Then you go to a site of grace and you can equip it. Then you use a rune arc to activate it, and it stays on until you die. And why didn't anyone tell you that? Like an NPC, just go through that with you. Or, Melina, who's your maiden, supposed to steer you in the right direction. Because I never activated a great rune until I was at the Elden Beast.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had it on, but it wasn't on.
But it's always the fear in all of these games.
That you're going to die.
Rune arcs are a consumable. Oh shit, I don't think I should use one until I'm absolutely sure I need it to beat the boss.
I think
you want to have a good run and then
exactly.
Yeah. Like I think I finished my first playthrough with probably about 40 of them because I used them very sparingly, and I used them mainly for being out in the world.
Right.
Oh.
And I think the most difficult enemy in the entire game is falls and drops.
Yeah.
Like I probably lost more runes and more rune arcs to falling than any other single enemy.
Yeah.
Do you know when you're swiping and you're near a ledge, you'll never fall off?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So you can't fight and then fall at the same time. It actually stops you.
Okay.
Damn, you knew it.
Mm-hmm.
I did miss Radahn's tower activation because I thought it was at the top of the tower, and then all right, I'm going to go do something else. But ages later, I came back up and this turned slightly left, and I was like, oh yeah, there's the rest of it. Thanks. This wall was a door that you can open.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
To get to the round table fast. To get to the round table how fast?
Touchpad, triangle, square, X.
Yeah. Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
Love it. I don't know if you're going to talk about the bird farm, but
I have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How to get to bird farm fast? You set up the Palace Approach Ledge Road as a marked site of grace. Then it is touchpad, triangle, X.
Oh, I love it. Oh, see, where do you farm runes?
Early game, it's the ball farm at Lena's Rise. Hop on Torrent, down the hill, one of those giant silver balls spawns. do a quick 180 brother, 360 if you will, and the ball just rolls off the cliff, about 1800 runes.
Hooray!
Maybe 1600, something like that. Good early game. Then mid to late game is the bird farm in Palace Approach Ledge Road in Mogwin Palace. There is one of those awful birds pecking around in the lake. Just fire an arrow at him in the appropriate spot. Falls off the ledge with the golden scarab, about 13,500 runes.
What about the frogmen?
Yeah, what are you using to smash them though?
But that's post game, where you get the sacred relic sword.
I mean, but you could still go with like
Beast.
the blasphemous blade or something like that and line up a few. Like
Maybe.
So I have that sword.
Sacred relic sword.
Yeah.
So you
that's
go,
how I should be.
You go to the exact same spot. You walk down to the Albernarks all sitting around and spam wave of gold.
Yeah.
And you make, it's like 35,000.
In New Game Plus, it's higher because the runes that you get go up. And if you have the golden scarab, I think it's like 60 something thousand every couple of seconds.
But you have to make it, the Sites of Grace are not unlocked in New Game Plus. You have to unlock them all again,
you do
right?
have to play the game. Yeah.
So there you go. That takes.
So it is a late game.
Do it post game, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, I only found this out today. You can smash revenants, those ghostly human centipede things, by healing. The simple heal incantation in their vicinity, and it zaps them of half health. It stuns them, so you can just do it again. It's magic. I'm so happy with it. I hate them so. And just a specific bit of advice, when you're down in the Ainsel River, explore it and get all the ghost glovewort. Because I didn't, and I missed all the class 2 gloveworts.
Oh, shit.
So I just went around class 1 for 50 hours.
Oh, that's terrible.
You know, because I never could find it. Yeah.
No. I'm part of her very being. I could never betray her. Ronnie. She needs me.
Just 2 milestones before beating the game you should know. One is when you finish Rani's quest. I felt I'd missed a ton of backstory because it's all over now. Like, you brought her back to life, and then I went to her gaff. Wolf Dude Blad, whom I fought alongside with Radan, heel turns, gotta kill him. Celivus, dead, loot his body. Pydia, dead, loot her body. E.G., thanks you for being Rani's protector, chastises himself for not seeing Blad for what he was, and if you sleep, you wake up and he's dead. His mission is complete. I thought it was awesome. You kind of look around and there's a load of Black Knight assassin corpses littering the field. It's like, what happened here? What happened? I saw him around, but where I felt like I missed a ton of shit. Anyway, the other one is when you burn the Earth Tree. Like, it dramatically feels like, okay, it's time to wrap up the game. And so a lot of quests end when you do that. Oh, by the way, catacombs, annoying flame towers.
Shoot them with a bow.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. It's like any kind of hit and they'll retract down. It's like there's no precedence for that.
One of the most terrifying things in the game, it's not necessarily an enemy, but it's something that will kill you. Chariots. Those things that are
horrible.
Terrifying.
One shot, and they have like an unfair hitbox as well.
Not a New Game Plus though, because you're so over leveled at the start. You can probably tank about 4.
Wow.
Really?
Which is insane, yeah. New Game Plus, which I want to talk about at some point, is such a joy. It's such a different game.
Oh, wow. So you've beaten the game, you've dispatched the Elden Beast. What can you do after you finish the game? The rest of the bosses, caves, and catacombs, of course. The bigger milestone is burning the Earth Tree. That kind of closes a ton of quest lines. That and finishing Rani's quest, as I said, just tons of people die or leave. Now, V1, New Game Plus. A couple of questions about New Game Plus. Do you keep your levels?
You keep your levels.
Do you keep your gear?
Keep your gear.
What about like talismans and your inventory?
Everything.
Okay.
Do you keep your runes? You keep absolutely everything.
You don't.
Oh, is it larval tiers?
No, you don't.
I think
you
it
do
changed.
Is it?
You do not.
Remembrances?
You do not keep remembrances.
You don't keep remembrances.
You don't keep quest items.
like Renala's greatsword?
No. If you've gotten the weapons, like if you've cashed it in for weapons, it's fine. But if you just have them there, like Godfrey's Remembrance, that's gone.
Okay, so you have to spend the Remembrance
Yeah.
before you do New Game Plus.
And duplicate any at the mausoleum or the walking mausoleums if necessary before New Game Plus.
Okay.
As they're gone.
Okay. And how is the experience from New Game Plus and the original playthrough differ?
It's a reward. You're so overpowered. You can literally just run around going, meow, just swatting enemies.
Did you get that tree sentinel dude at the start of the game?
At the start of the
game? Did you go right up to him?
I have it captured. I think I beat him in about 40 seconds. Margaret beat him in like a minute. Godric in a minute.
Are you like going around with your swords going, flee for your lives?
Pretty much. Like my Taker's Flame move is so wildly overpowered that I can just absolutely smashing people. With the exception of falling to my death, I didn't die for about 30 hours.
Falling to your death doesn't count. That's
Do you want to take a stab at what enemy was the first one to kill me on my New Game Plus journey?
I'll just have a guess and you have a guess. You got stun locked by a load of rats.
Ooh, that's very good.
Because that's the kind of shite that happens.
Bell bearer, a shack dude.
Yeah, I know the dude you're talking about. Nope.
Not a bell bearer. Go for it, man.
Mimictor.
Ooh.
Myself killed me.
The only person that
we were both
beat you.
So we both went for Taker's Flames at the same time, and mine did, I'd say, about 25% damage, and they won.
They won the race.
Shot me.
Wow.
They
won the race.
I just went, but so much fun. I earned the fucking right to run around that world as a god, and it is great.
So here, give me your login so I can just start playing that. Imagine if your like first playthrough of the game was a New Game Plus and you just had all the shit to start off with.
I know, but it's, as you say, it's a reward. But I'm already preparing for New Game Plus by leveling up the weapons that I want to use and also buying out all the merchants. But by the way, one of the things I love about this game, you find 20 merchants out in the world, kill them, take their bell bearing, bring it back to the Twin Maiden Husk so you have one place to go and buy everything.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
you monster.
By the way, Steve, you're so powerful. You don't need anything.
But I'm also preparing for New Game Plus because the game's going to get
7,
fucking hard again. It will. New Game Plus 7 is going to be fucking hard.
No, because you keep your levels and you're so wildly overpowered that it's fine.
I am at 174 now.
Yeah.
In New
You'll be
Game Plus,
230, 240 by the time you beat it. And then, like, each difficulty jump is not as much as your level gaining, you know? So if you're going into level New Game Plus 4 at level 400, you're just going to smash everything, you know?
Okay.
Except for some of the bosses.
Yeah, the usual.
Yeah.
How is Elden Ring different now that when it launched in 2022? PvP was quite weak and it's been significantly fleshed out, and mostly balancing of weapons and of bosses like Starscourge Radahn is not as bad, not as cheap, but still a bollocks. And
I heard he was one of the hardest bosses in the game pre-nerf.
And then some spells as well, like Rivers of Blood, the katana.
Yeah, it was massively nerfed apparently.
And Mimic Tear has been nerfed a bit, but it's still the best going. You know.
Ow! What the hell is wrong with you?
Marika's tits. You must be hungry.
Boundary breaks. Cool things out of bounds. All this footage is from the amazing She Says. Check out his channel. This is his main series, peeking out of bounds in video games. The wizards don't have a face, but they do have a little rock formation coming out down into their neck. Do you know who does have a face? Dung Eater. Wide nose having motherfucker. Like if you had a lineup and you didn't know who was who and you said someone was Dung Eater, you're like, him? Yeah, he eats dung. He looks like it. The underground dungeon subterranean shunning grounds in Leyendell, where you get lost in its repeating hallways. It's actually a labyrinth of the same setup. You kind of zoom out and you can see it there. It's crazy looking. Okay. You know how they turned the Carrion Great Hall library place upside down? They have an upside down model of the entire thing stored below that building and just loaded in.
Okay.
Very nice.
Okay. That was a cool moment, by the way. It's like the hourglass that you put on the altar and everything turns, and it's like, that is so clever.
You know, the boss, you know, the big piss fog. You know, foggy door to get to the bosses. Yeah. That extends way beyond the alcove of the door. So you cannot clip through it. Get
brilliant.
back.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Close up of the bosses. Most interesting is the Firefox in Hogwarts. It's a massive fox. Wears jewellery on its ear. Beads braided under the chin. Like, Godric the Grafted, his left leg is different from the right. It's armoured, and that's what he used to do his big kick up a storm. You know who else does that? Commander Neo. And El Pegleg, who's missing a leg. So Godric the Grafted has a soldier's leg, and the soldier's missing a leg. So, yeah, Godric grafted Neo's leg out of his leg.
That's cool. That's a great little bit of lore, isn't it? Oh, see that Commander Neil with his like lightning kick? What a dick, man. What a dick.
Yeah.
And of course, the main event, the most important thing, I don't know how big Miyazaki was in it. It's very Japanesey, but he has modelled the Deathbed Companion's panties.
Of course he has.
And it's like, it's actually a thing. And yep, okay, you model that. All right, okay. So let's check the monetization and we're down.
Morgoth the Fell. Whose hand graspeth thy leash, I wonder? Or perhaps thy will is thine own, Enchantress Rani, Captain Rykard. Felled by King Morgoth, Elden Lord.
My favourite bit of cut content, the Mimic Tier questline. A silver tier NPC that asks you to spare her and she'll grant you power. You just have to kiss her and she'll enter your body. Melina, actually, when you're outside of Grace, she comments on it. It was like, is there someone inside of you? I'm Melina. I'm gonna help him on the journey, so we're gonna know each other for a while. Just hello. You go to Noxtella, and then Simi asks you to drink from 2 chalices to give her strength, and she becomes a perfect clone of you and wants the throne. And sorry, you found me. You gotta die, and then you fight her. I thought that would have been a cool way to get the Mimic Tier, rather than just opening a chest. Which is a bit...
let down.
Yeah, it would have been nice. A cheese that I didn't know about the Mimic Tier the first time that I fought it, and it wasn't until afterwards that the guys on the chat were telling me that some people, when they know they're coming up to the fight, they will go into their character and they will take off all of their gear.
Ooh, that's very clever.
And then while it's loading in, they'll quickly put it all in, and then the Mimic Tier is like, they're just punching people. That's great.
But you realize you don't need to... all you need to do is unequip everything for him and equip one sword. It could be any sword for you, and he's just punching you.
Yeah.
And he's doing 1 damage.
That's so good. I love it. By the way, Nulrin and Vati did a recreation of it when it is modded back into the game. I'll link in the description.
Set your lips upon me and breathe in deep. I will live inside of you.
Is there another person inside of you? Did you want that to happen?
Couple of mods. These are my fun mods that I like. There's a first person mod that the Sav has done. It's called First Person Souls.
Yeah.
You get a real better sense of the immense scale of the world, like not just buildings, because you look up at it and it's wow.
Imagine it in VR.
Shit.
That's one for you, Steve.
It'd be incredible, wouldn't it? It would be absolutely mind-blowing. Oh my god, and you can swing the swords with the...
Yeah.
If you can believe it, the combat is even harder. It's more intense because you have to kind of relearn spacing, and people get right up into your grill and smash you. Sykes Magic Overhaul, which gives you new animation. This is on PC, obviously. Gives you new animations for all spells and new spells. All works great. Briars of Punishment is a bit overpowered. It just decimates whoever's unfortunate enough to be in front of you. No bad thing. The Convergence adds new weapons and spells, alters game progression, remixing to make new dungeons and boss fights. Like instead of Gideon's fight, it's a Crucible fighter called Scarred.
Okay.
Clever Raptor has Heaven Splitter Genichiro moveset, which is a Sekiro mod, which adds a bow and katana into the game, imports Sekiro's animation, and you get some like bow and it shoots red lightning. So you get like Sekiro in Elden Ring.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of that. Yep.
Elden Ring Reborn is a huge mod that adds new weapons, armor, coloring, new areas in old locations, revamps the roundtable hold, like buying any item from a new merchant with these things called ethereal medallions, gotten from defeating certain bosses and enemies. And there's more mist! Because who likes visibility? You know? Seriously, monster undertaking in execution. Congrats to the modders. Links in the description.
And some of my favourite challenge runs are the runs where every enemy in the game is X. Like every enemy is Millennia.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun watching the...
So wild.
And like even the best players in the world are panicking and sprinting to sites of grace and cheering when they just touch a site of grace. It's hilarious. Hilarious.
Oh God. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. All right.
YouTube channels to check out.
I've got a lot.
Yeah, please do.
I'll blast. You can put them in the description. But
blam
like
them.
for challenge runs, Lil Aggie, Bushy, and Gino Machino.
Bushy's great.
Yeah, and he's funny. They're all funny and nice. They're not just shouting and raging and that kind of thing. For critiques, Joseph Anderson, Feeble King, and Matthew Matosis, who's Irish.
Yep.
It sounds like he's from Dublin.
Still going. Man, he's been going a while. Yeah.
Long time. Yeah. For weapon ratings, this is for me, Planning for New Game Plus, Rusty and Rage Gaming videos.
Rusty. Yeah, Rusty's really good.
You went Rusty, yeah?
I recently watched Rusty's rating of every weapon in the game.
Finally did the whole thing.
I'm 2 hours in.
Oh my God, it's like a 3.5 hour video. Like I watched
nothing on this one.
I watched over the course of like 4 days or something like that. I really enjoyed it.
So Rusty and Rage Gaming videos is the other one. They have covered in depth into staves, which for me is important for my next run. Like they go into proper detail on numbers. For Souls likes, you mentioned him, Iron Pineapple. He does a brilliant series every probably 6 months. It's basically Steam dumpster diving, where he reviews Souls games you might not have heard of or may have heard of. Gives me ideas for what I want to play. And then for future build suggestions, Fexter Life and Your Average Gamer.
Excellent.
Yeah, nice.
Excellent.
Good stuff.
I just want to shout out amazing rotoscoping video editor Eli Handel B, who did a Lord of the Rings Elden Ring mashup where Aragorn and his horse Brago, they're in the lands between, commanding the ghosts and stuff like that. It's fantastic. It's really good. Yeah. Carbot Animations.
Oh, I love them. I was going to shout out them. Incredible. Like they capture the feelings of your first run of Elden Ring perfectly.
Stuff like running past the Carrion Knight by jumping on the lift, or
Moongrum.
Yeah. Or you're, on ledges, instead of jumping forward, you circle and jump.
Okay,
yeah. It's
the
brilliant.
Ernia, you're like on torrent and you're going through the lake and then you're dead, and then it'll turn around and there's a fucking lobster there with like an actual rifle going.
Matthew Shazeman made a 45-minute animated epic of his playthrough. Holy crap, it's quite funny as well. Just general PvP people who pretend to be an NPC or a job or enemy and like hide in plain sight. Like they're a soldier or something, and your man is like, where are they? And then goes away.
Oh yeah, somebody was dressed up as like one of the, in Limgrave, the first soldiers you come across with a torch, the one that goes up and down. Yeah, I saw that.
Really funny.
Great.
Artis Artifacts, who drew his entire Elden Ring journey into a lovely watercolor picture book, and it's just him telling you about it, and he goes through all the pages. It's quite calming and really fun. Bonfire VN is amazing for models close up, does other FromSoft characters as well, highly recommend. Snuggly the Crow covers mods and updates, really cool, one of the only YouTubers to consistently do it. Kite Tales has some fantastic lore and explanations, really chill as well. And a special thanks to StaggerTime for their wonderful music halfway through this video. So amazing to work with, make sure to sub them on YouTube. And hey, check out this cannon stagger. One last one, Pantagana, who has modded the game to showcase anyone versus anyone. So 50 soldiers versus every boss in a simulation.
I've watched a few of them.
Which bosses survive, strength and powers versus little swords jabbing you in overwhelming numbers.
I love those videos.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Just of those 50 soldiers versus the bosses, Morgoth gets bum rushed and is about to die, but hulks up and everyone dies. It was like, what a comeback.
Yeah.
Placiducex, you think dragons would fare well, but he was stunlock barraged until about 20% and then decimates everyone in area attack. Death Doggy and Moog just obliterate the ranks in seconds. Shockingly, Radan gets stunlocked and jobs quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whilst the Elden beast one-shots his opponents in record time.
Yeah.
Melania with the Wooden Spoon Award, she got jumped and was jobbing, but weaseled out by crashing the game.
See, pressing the win button.
There we go. Got a couple of quick questions for you before we break.
Can I just shout out one or two?
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah, please. Yeah.
So for my playthrough, I didn't follow a guide. I would go on to Fighting Cowboys videos.
Blind run.
And just know where to go next. And my boys, or KG, I think they do the best long form Let's Play videos out there. They've been going since the days of IGN and they've covered all of the Souls games and their Let's Play of Elden Ring. They will bring out one episode every Saturday and they're like 2 hours each and they build up like little like characters and angles, things like that, and they have splicing. They're awesome. It's my favorite YouTube content out there.
So, I got a couple of quick questions for you. Okay, Lands Between, gigantic quest. You're going to get the shards of the Elden Ring and become Elden Lord. Where do you sleep?
Round table hold.
Just on the table, is it? Or under the table?
He's got a room somewhere.
The Dung Eater has a room.
Yeah, for what?
Where's my room?
Yeah, true.
I mean, probably because people don't want to watch him eating shit, you know?
See, that's where we went wrong. We should eat shit. Eat dung.
Yeah.
Can we hopefully horn in for you, maybe?
Yeah.
We'd probably be dead in the morning. Similarly, where are the bathrooms in Lands Between? Do you know?
Yeah, fair, but, the hole in the ground.
I was thinking, they're tarnished, so maybe they don't
shit on a lift and send it down. It becomes someone else's problem.
Dump it on Mooncrumb.
Shit in one of those teleporter things, and then someone in Canaan just gets splattered everywhere.
Get the teleporter and put it on the ground so you can squat over it.
Shit into your hand and throw it through a fucking portal, Moog somewhere going, you son of a bitch.
All right. Question. Okay, when you're at a site of grace and you fast forward time, why does the clock move backwards?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Clock dial should go clockwise. Yeah. Question: is the Erd tree now the most famous tree in pop culture?
Joshua Tree.
Yes.
Great Deku Tree.
Yes. Treebeard.
Yes.
Kirby's Wispy Woods boss.
No.
Maybe. No. The trees that go rawr in Mortal Kombat 2.
No.
So it is. Yeah, our tree is the most famous tree in everything now.
No, it's not.
Who? Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree.
Is that because
I think a lot more people know the Joshua Tree? Yeah.
Is that because Bono wrote half of the Joshua Tree over here, and the other half over there?
I'd say the Great Deku Tree is also more.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And Treebeard as well.
Yeah.
This is Lord of the fucking Rings, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Treebeard's kind of lame, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I am no tree. What's your name? Treebeard is mine. Yeah.
Treebeard is Animdome.
Yeah. Is there any bigger fuck you to Zelda than having thousands of breakable objects and nothing inside them ever?
I love that, by the way, because in Dark Souls games, there is shit hidden in, smashy. Well, maybe not Dark Souls games, but certainly Souls-likes, and it's annoying because I don't fancy rolling around this room, thank you.
Yeah, people love it.
Yeah, no thanks.
I felt so bad for Rani when she was gone, and like her chair was there, and I just hit the wrong button. I hit like X to jump, and I smashed it. I'm like, oh, I broke your throne. I'm so sorry. Favorite merchant?
They're all dead, Jay.
Oh
They're all
no,
dead.
he took their balls. He took their bells.
I took their little bells, and I couldn't care less.
No,
Absolutely do not have one. They're all exactly the same to me.
mine is the first one, Calais, because he's dressed like Santa.
Yeah,
The red and the white.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Wooden Spoon is the lad who's hanging out in a cave in Moog's palace.
Yeah.
Like it's pitch black in there.
Pressing.
Yeah, and you need to find a fucking hidden teleporter to get there. What kind of footfall is in that cave?
And he's in a like a little crevice.
Yeah. The only people around are these ghouls who are inside out.
Yeah.
They don't have pockets.
Yeah,
they don't have skin. So they don't have pockets. They don't have money.
They're inside out. But by the way, Wooden Spoon for me is there's one in Noxtella or Nocron, I can't remember, where up to this point I was walking up to them and just smack, you're dead. No, this guy does fucking frenzy damage, and he killed me instantly. I was like,
wow.
A fucking merchant killed me. So after that I was very careful about merchants, like heavy attack, Bloodhound's finesse, get rid of them because they fight back sometimes.
After that, I hit them harder.
Well, he better be imprisoned. What gestures do you use, like when you beat a boss and that?
I don't have time for that.
Really?
I usually turn to the camera, take a swig of my health, and go, oh yeah.
Oh wow! Because they have the WrestleMania point, they have the Hogan you, they have the Bret Hart hey, they have the Randy. Also the
Riccio.
Yes, and they have the Randy's Eddie's down here in hell, and then they have the please no grovel for mercy Neo style. What I learned to do is there's a dancing on the spot where you're like la 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 la, because do you know?
Oh, is that from the ladies in the windmill place?
Oh, get in, yes, the Morris dancers.
Nice.
They're like slippy slappy slappity slap blinky dinky.
They are the scariest fucking enemies in the game, by the way.
They're crazy. Yeah. They're freaky.
Yeah,
because they have big smiles on their face and they're just dancing la 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 because their god is the Godskin apostle.
Yeah.
And they're obviously after having a great win, and they've skinned all these different bodies about to use for their clothes. So anyway, that's why they're happy. But I did like dancing with them.
Yeah.
Oh, actual question for you. Not that the other ones weren't. Is Elden Ring too hard?
No, it's one of my highlights. It's accessible. It's by a million miles the most accessible FromSoft game, because you can go and find farming locations, level up to your heart's content, and
enemies don't scale.
Yes, which is the same with all FromSoft games, to be fair.
I would say it is too hard. It is devastating. But when you're overpowered and you beat a boss first or second time round and you haven't really learned the attack patterns, but you overcome them anyway, it's like, I didn't get much joy from that.
Yeah.
Do you know? You're a bit unsatisfied. I was just thinking, Mrs. Doyle in Father Ted, and she's like, maybe I like the misery. That's Elden Ring.
It's the sense of accomplishment, and no other company can match what they achieve with the sense of accomplishment. But it's got an optional easy mode. It's got an
easy is relative.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Okay, fine.
Games.
But it's got difficulty modes built into the game without having to select them in the menu. I love that.
Yeah, so it has spirit summons for when you get frustrated, need a hand, and then you have extra life to see what talismans and armor might best suit the area you want to clear. You don't have it now, but at launch you could summon the internet to help you with bosses. That's kind of gone
and
now.
There's NPC summons.
Yes, sometimes.
Yeah.
How was it received? Shite.
Yeah.
No, of course not. Far from it. Prior to launch, Miyazaki admitted to huge doubts plaguing his mind.
At this point, this is when I really start to have regrets and doubts about releasing the game into the wild and seeing what everybody thinks. I start thinking, I could have maybe done this better. I could have maybe approached this in a different way. Perfectionist.
Yeah, which is why his games are so good. He is the Bret Hart of video game makers.
Yes. Launched February 25th, 2022. Under a month in, it had sold 12 million copies.
That's insane.
And in its first year, it crossed 20 million. So if you just have a look at this incredible graph from Thomas Brush on YouTube there, you might miss Elden Ring because the line goes this, and everyone, all the other FromSoft games kind of go across. And a week before Shadow of the Erdtree's release, 12th June 2024, From Software announced Elden Ring has sold 25 million copies worldwide. Congratulations, lads. Richly deserved. Elden Ring reviews. Let's go around the internet. Tell us what different YouTubers told us in their Elden Ring review.
Skill Up strongly recommended it, harking, Elden Ring is so immense in scale, in its depth, in its system, and its secrets that one playthrough, even at 100 hours long, is nowhere near enough to fully extract the value of this game.
Yep.
Yeah, very much agreed.
Just put on an Aussie accent. We'll understand. Easy allies. Elden Ring delivers. It's a thrilling adventure that provides a wonderful sense of discovery through an expertly crafted world, seamlessly incorporating the excellent combat and encounters the studio is known for.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that's not enough praise.
Yep, agreed.
That's just a snippet from the 10 minutes or whatever.
GameSpot, 10. Game Informer, 10. IGN, 10. Masterpiece.
Lots of 10s going around.
GameRanks had welcomed honesty, saying, like most reviewers, the game is so vast that they didn't have time to complete the game before launch, but from what they saw, it's incredible.
I do appreciate the honesty there. Well done, guys.
Yeah. I will also say you should not release a review before you completed it. They're obviously trying to get their views in on the day of release, and I think that's kind of irresponsible as a reviewer.
Unless you open with that in your review.
Yeah. The Game Awards. Director Miyazaki, after thanking his crew and George M, said, "We have faced so many difficulties while developing this game. So as a director, I'm really relieved that this might not be the, right thing to say at the occasion of receiving the Game of the Year award. But I haven't made up my mind to create even more interesting games than this one."
I'm not too sure. I think there was an extra knot in there. So it was like, I am now emboldened to make even bigger games than Elden Ring, or I don't know if I can make bigger games than Elden Ring. I'm not too sure what he meant.
Bigger game than Elden Ring. I think you get to a point where the returns on your investment aren't good, and he's absolutely at that point. You don't need to be bigger. You can just make a game
tighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
本当にありがとうございました。Thank you.
Actually, we'll save you to the last. What did you make of Elden Ring overall?
This is a generational game. It's a game that people will talk about for a long time. The game is still relatively recent and people are still playing it, and so we're still kind of thinking about it as a recent game. But as we go on to the next generation and the next generation, I think this game is going to be up there with the greats of gaming. Your Super Metroids and your Mario 64s and your
Shadowrun,
Castlevania, Symphony of the Nights, and Half-Life 2 and Portal, and just all of the all-time great games. It is the standard for action RPG games going forward. I think it's the standard for open world games going forward. I don't know if there's many game studios with the ability and the ingenuity and the artistic flair to come close to it. So I feel like we're going to have to wait for Miyazaki's next game to see if he can outdo himself. Other than a couple of minor quibbles, like I wish there was more plot, you know? I would have liked to have seen a few more cutscenes to tell me the story of the world. That's not just a line of text in an item that I'm not going to read. I feel like I shouldn't have to rely on other content creators to tell me the story of the game that I've played that I should know, but I don't know. I would just like more cutscenes, more storytelling, a quest log, you know, but they're all minor quibbles that we've talked about earlier, you know. So anyway, anyone who's been listening to us for the last, you know, many
2 days
moons on OSW, my favorite game is Super Metroid, possibly Metroid Prime, depending on which way the wind is blowing. I don't know if they're my favorite games anymore. I think it might be Elden Ring.
No way.
I haven't thought about a game as much as I have this game. Bloodborne ran it close when I played it. I think about this game a lot. I think it's one of the greatest games ever made. I think it's one of the greatest games I've ever played. And I think it's a masterpiece. I think 10 on 10 doesn't do it justice. I think if there's any game going to Meltzer break the scale, it's got to be this game. I think it's one of the greatest games ever made.
Are FromSoft, they're based in Tokyo, right?
I think so. Oh, it all makes sense.
6.25 stars.
It all makes sense.
What do you think?
So this section I've called Why Elden Ring is Great, aka Why Elden Ring should get both the parachutes in case one of them doesn't work.
Hey, I love it.
Sorry, we made that joke last week.
Yeah.
Good.
Couldn't resist.
It is.
I'm glad you worked it in.
It is a fabulous joke.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's got challenge, so that's the feeling of overcoming obstacles and a feeling of satisfaction that you get from, in my opinion, no other game. It's accessible, anyone can play it. You know, some might give up after an hour, fine, but it's not like, I would say, Super Meat Boy, for example, exceptionally hard game. You know pretty quickly with Super Meat Boy if you're just not able for it, whereas Elden Ring, you can work your way into the game and find ways to get through it. This is not just Elden Ring, but it's the FromSoft games in general. It's problem solving. This boss is a puzzle I need to solve, and how do I go about it? I can get enjoyment out of that. The world is incredible. There's huge variety, something new around every corner. Going into a new area just blows your mind. Replayability with all these games, but I'm going to say especially Elden Ring. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do, what my next run will be.
330 hours in.
No, you see, I've done it now, so my next run can be a 15-hour run.
Yeah.
So the ability to jump is fantastic, and it opens up so many possibilities. Torrent is nice to have, but you need Torrent for a world this size. Music, very nice, calms me down in the world after a boss fight. Yeah, I love that. I love it.
I like it when he plays that note.
In terms of quality of life, Stakes America, checkpoints near the bosses.
Yes, please.
Huge improvement over some of these other games. Let me tell you. Boss runs, man. Demon Souls, holy shit, there's fuck all checkpoints. Dark Souls 1, it can be a bollocks. Dark Souls 2, holy shit, some of those boss runs I never want to see again. Misery. And that's why in Dark Souls 2 I will always summon NPCs if they're available, because I do not want to lose to this boss, because the fucking boss run took me 20 minutes. Fast travel from anywhere. You don't have to sit at a site of grace to fast travel. You can fast travel from anywhere. It has a map. I mean, this is mind-blowing. You know, I played Elden Ring first, but for people coming from Dark Souls games, to have a map, you can see where you're supposed to go. Incredible. No inventory load. It doesn't happen in all of the previous games, but some of them. You know, you have equip load. You also have inventory load. So, you know...
Oh my god.
Yeah, you have to put them in a chest. So you have to plan, I need to put all this shite in inventory so I can pick up more shite on the way.
Yeah.
Weapons don't break, that's a thing in previous games.
I can't believe we've gone 6 hours without mentioning that. Weapons don't break. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Does it happen in different FromSoft games?
Yeah, Dark Souls 1 and 2. I don't think Dark Souls 3.
Bloodborne has it.
Very frustrating. You're in the middle of a boss fight and you're panicking about your weapon breaking.
Yeah,
I know it's in Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, Zelda's much worse. Zelda's way worse.
But that's kind of one of its main gimmicks, I think, right?
So it forces you to pick up new ones, but you get lots of them.
Leveling up at Sites of Grace is nice rather than having to go back to Round Table Hold to do it. Bell bearings I've mentioned, adding temporary affinities with Ashes of War I've mentioned, rather than making a permanent change to your weapon with a limited amount of consumable items. Huge. There's no real gimmick fights. There's one with Rykard, but in Demon Souls it's all gimmick fights. It's nice to have proper fights.
Yeah.
And just in general with these games, I can optionally choose to follow a quest to the end or leave it, if I'm interested, if I'm not, rather than games like, Skyrim or whatever, where it's all quest-based and you have to listen to endless fucking talk from NPCs and select option A or option B and listen to you don't have to listen to basically any dialogue in this game if you don't want to. You can just play it as a proper action game.
I do like how they pause after a certain amount of lines, and if you wanted to go away, you can.
Exactly.
Or you can press them for more information.
Exactly. After I played this game, I played something, and I'll send you the list and you can just scroll through it in the screen while I'm talking here. I played like 25 Souls games. That includes From Software as well as Souls-likes. Nothing compares to Elden Ring. It's on basically any level. Maybe one or two exceptions. It's the best out of the best. Please, I would love to hear in the comments I have a list of games to play, Souls-likes to play, but please recommend me a good Souls-like. But yeah, in terms of recommendations for you, Jay, Dark Souls 3, similar combat. I would recommend for you, if you enjoyed the combat in Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 1 and 2, very slow combat. I would recommend 3. And also,
does that have a lot of quality of life improvements over the first two, is it?
Yes, but not as many as Elden Ring.
Yeah.
It's like Elden Ring has just been building, But like Dark Souls 1 looks like a pile of puke. Even the remastered version. Dark Souls
shite.
Dark Souls 2 doesn't look much better. Dark Souls 3 looks okay. It's PS4 generation. It looks fine. Demon Souls Remake. It looks better than Elden Ring.
It's so gorgeous. It's so stunning.
Yes, highly recommend Demon Souls Remake.
Yeah.
And it's short, really short.
Ooh.
Like I'm talking like 20-something hours, but compared to the other ones,
it's a game as opposed to an epic,
Highly recommend Demon Souls Remake. But in summary, people say, what's your favourite game? Well, FIFA 13, FIFA 15, Pro Evolution Soccer 2008, which I was ranked 28th in the world in, by the way.
Wow.
Championship Manager 0001. They were like the ones that always come to mind. And then, but not a sports game or not a football game. I'll say GTA San Andreas. It's been shunted by Elden Ring. Yeah, so non-football related games, it's by far the best game of all time.
Yeah, so we're both in agreement it's one of the greatest games, if not the greatest game ever made.
So 7 on 10.
Obviously 10 out of 10.
Could have had the sausage a bit too close to the beans. I just want to say, when I streamed this to you all over PS5, I was like, I am shocked that you didn't mind watching me die over and over facing the same boss. Like I was taking on the Firefox and Ray Lucaria, and you said it's grand because I get to experience the game all over again.
There's a kinship to it, isn't there?
Like you can't buy that type of endorsement.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
It's too dank for me. Like I'm worried about the rolling around with big rats and hitting them in a wet cave. That doesn't appeal to me at all. So that worries me. I was just my final thought is just the difference between talking to men and women, because women are all thoughts, feelings, ideas, hopes, dreams, and men is well, the glintstone ice rag does a plus 100 frost damage. Anyway, that's it. It's a fun game, but it is a miserable slog. It is a very hard game that tests the limits of you being great at games.
Are you glad you played it?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you glad you've tried crack? Because now I'm fucking hooked on it. Great.
Yeah.
But it is fantastic. It was amazing. It's very different than every other game I played. I'm worried that people that say it's easy or it is the easy mode, because I got fucking smashed over and over for 180 hours.
You won't in another run.
But regular people would mind, smashing their face against the wall to actually push through to it. It's not a pleasure, it's a feat of endurance,
Yeah.
Which is also good. It does embolden you that you can do other things. Maybe you could take a positive that if you can get through this, you can get through other things in your life as well.
Apparently it's helped people with depression. That if you can overcome this obstacle, you can you can overcome
I
that.
can absolutely see it.
Like
I wouldn't
a
recommend
mantra
it to,
almost.
Yeah.
I would liken it to a hike. My wife sometimes drags me kicking and screaming up mountains.
My wife.
And
That's my impression of everyone. My wife.
Going up, misery,
Yeah.
awful. And then when you get to the top, you
Dodge roll all the way down.
you feel you feel good.
Yeah.
You feel good.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a mammoth deep dive. We have never been deeper we were in the subterranean shunning grounds of deep dives. How do you think that one went, V1?
Great. I mean, we got the splooge about a game that we love for 7 hours.
It's almost as long as WrestleMania. We're on night 2 of Elden Ring.
Yeah. Very good. It was an easy one.
I hope you enjoyed this mammoth deep dive into Elden Ring. Definitely, I would give it a go, if it halfway interests you, to see if it's for you, even if it's not, because this is my first one, and immediately when finishing, it's like, I gotta ask Ook, what's the next one?
You can...
Well, actually, it won't be, because I have to do New Game Plus first, but after that...
Yeah, you can pick the game up now digitally for 35 quid. Absolute bargain for hundreds of hours of entertainment. I do want to say, in general, I don't use value and length of a game as a metric with which to score. But I was just, I didn't want this game to end. But I don't think it's better because it's long. It's better because it's the best.
Aww. Because the nerd is the nerd. Ready to be good. Yeah, fantastic game. Definitely. Oh, it's alright. So that ends our Elden Ring deep dive. Fantastic. Hope you enjoyed. And hopefully, Shadow of the Earth 3 part 2 of this. Tell Miyazaki, put a little effort in next time, would you? Come on. No, fantastic game. And if you'll check in the links in the description, you can check out our playlist of all of our deep dives and video game reviews. So it just leaves us to say it's a goodbye from V1.
Take a boot.
OSE.
You do.
And the 2.5-time Golden Nogger Award winner, Jay Hunter. And remember, a winner is you.
You're actually doing less damage than I thought.
I am, but he's just such a fucking sponge.
Yeah.
Sorry again. I'll break out to Kevin Costner for this one, Oh, re-recording this, sorry.
Yeah, just to see what you're saying.
Oh, sorry.
Can you give us let me know what's happening here.
Okay. So I'm just... he's going to do the big rings, so I'm going to run away from the rings.
Rings just turn on.
Boom, big jump.
Big man, one jump. That was that was textbook.
There he is. He usually appears on the left, but now, no, I was wrong. He's behind me.
Swipe.
Beautiful dodge.
Yeah.
Oh, it's clogged. There's the stagger.
I want to. I want to see you deal with that. The big ball of stars, the heat
stars.
seekers. Yeah.
Sorry.
Really?
I'm so sorry.
He's got a big bright spot around his tummy there.
That's his. Oh, yeah, another stagger. Bang! You see, another stagger.
Nice.
And then you can get in one more lion's claw now.
Oh shit!
There's the Elden stars.
Here we go.
Bit of panic rolling. Never did anyone any harm.
Never hurt anyone.
Are you using the claw for this? Is this the claw?
I'm using the lions. Look at this panic rolling.
Listen, you need to get out of the area.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Textbook.
Beautiful. How does he disappear so deep into the water?
It's ridiculous. Oh, now we've got the double rings coming up. Or is it the triple rings or double rings? I can't remember. So you angle the camera.
I like how you've done that, yeah.
Big jump. I think I fuck up here. No.
Big jump. Third one.
Oh, lads.
Fantastic.
Come on.
Look at that.
Come on.
At you.
Steve
like
would be proud.
Salmon.
Connor salmon. Yeah, easy. Yeah, we all like that move. We all like that move. And we like this move as well. We like that. Elden Stars. Just run around. Why aren't you running yet, idiot? Why aren't you running?
Okay,
not bad.
Very good. Man, I was only like 2 seconds of brown trousers.
Dodge.
Beautiful, perfect dodge.
Missed. Missed.
I hope the next minute of this is both missing each other.
Oh,
They do that,
look at that.
RVD Jerry Lynn standoff.
Here we go.
Wow.
This is me thinking I
Dodge
might not
that
get it. I might not get it. One
Managed to
flask
tank
left.
that.
One flask.
Here we go.
Quick, mimic.
I am not doing that, Steve. You little summon bitch. I'm not doing it.
One more.
I won't summon, but I will throw sleep pots at him. Good job.
Look at that.
Good job.
Well, I like to consume all my resources by the end of a boss fight.
That's not how gamers work.
But Irish people were told to clear our plates before we leave.
Yeah.
So you have to use all your pots and pans.
Did you really beat a game if you finish it without having 2,000 things? So you
But I mean my semi-consumables.
Oh, okay.
You know, like the stuff that you can replenish at the site of grace. Yeah.
Excellent job.
It was a terrible job, but I got it
Did
done.
you get it on the first try?
No, third with that run. In my New Game
not
Plus
bad.
run, which we're not covering. New Game Plus was 1 attempt.
Oh yeah.
Can I ask for a personal favour?
Anything.
All right. It will also on. Well, actually, I didn't need the second bargaining position.
Yeah.
Well, it's only 5 minutes, but I would love your commentary on Jay versus Melania.
Excellent.
Oh.
Are we allowed to talk about what happened here?
Yes, please. All right. If you want to just.
So. Okay.
Never mind. That's fine.
So Jay said, "Do you fancy getting on a call and watching me face Melania?" And I was like, "I'd fucking love that, Jay. So I just want to give out to you for an hour, like." So I said to Jay, "She can't dodge Night Comet, so use that." And he said, "Okay," but he insisted on using Renala's full moon several times. Even though I told him.
Okay,
here we go. Pretty good.
No.
Oh no, this
I got hit twice.
It's coming though. So I was trying to coach him on how to dodge waterfowl, and it's coming. You'll see how good he got at it. So this is it's all about playing possum in the first phase.
Waterfowl number 2. We're far enough away.
Pretty good.
Dodge in. Turn up.
Steve, what do you think?
Nice fucking job.
There's even when you go onto YouTube and they tell you how to dodge a waterfowl, there's a double whip of the pan of the camera that I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know? There's just you know?
It's probably people playing with a mouse and keyboard, and they can literally whip the camera around.
But still, even when you're locked on, she's going again. Even when you're locked on, watch this now. So, and then this bit here, it's like camera. See, that's just. Oh, look at that.
Look at the distance that she could cover. It's absolute horseshit.
You can't get away. But
Isn't
that was
it?
a full dodge twice on waterfowl.
Yeah.
Twice in a row. Full dodge.
Watching this is so weird to me, because on my original playthrough and my new Game Plus, I was very melee focused, up close and personal.
Yeah.
And so watching someone keep this distance, I'm like, it's like a completely different game.
It is. But she can still get you at waterfowl. Doesn't matter how far away you are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So to be able to hit her at range, you also have to be not very strong.
Yeah.
So if she does get me, it's game over for me.
Yeah, correct.
But this is the techers, so just keep her at bay, and she'll only get angry at you for a minute, and then she'll kind of slow down.
In the first phase. And this, I was like, Jay, buff up now. Do everything now, because you're going to enter second phase and you won't have time to do everything. Look at this. Very nice, Jay. Very nice. He's doing his shit. Do your shit.
You can see, can we get a bit of Great Moon in there? I love the Great Moon, but you have to commit yourself for 4 seconds to incant it.
Yeah, this is
no
textbook
incantations.
now. Textbook. So we're ready for for phase 2. So Jay, what do we do at the start of phase 2?
Okay, we what do you call it?
Lock off.
Lock off, run straight forward to the end, so you miss her dive bomb and Scarlet Rot.
Turn around, comet.
Here
and
we
it's
go.
Over.
Okay, Tish, save me.
Look at this. Summon bitch. There we go. Look.
There we go. And this is my new technique. We call it the runaway.
Yeah.
There we go. Safe distance. And now I will bang you from the arse.
But he was smart. He didn't bring Tish out in the first phase because then Melania would just get all her health back.
Yeah.
Oh, what you going to me?
So remember, it's backwards, pause, forwards, left side.
This is an accurate representation because these notes come 5 seconds after the thing has started. So you can see my wonderful, definitely not panic rolling.
That was perfect though.
That was like, get away. And now that, we've gotten to this part of the fight, I feel comfortable with the Runar. Can't be just using them willy-nilly.
Yeah. And I really appreciate it. By the way, Steve, this is after about an hour of me watching him, but he eventually gave up on Renala's Dark Moon. And
very sad about that.
And also Terra Magica. I was like, why are you doing Terra Magica? You're going to have to keep running around the entire fight.
See, I had enough health to actually be able to take that one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god,
look at her getting the health back off Tish.
Yeah.
Such bullshit.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Where's my stuff? Oh my god. Because she presses on you in the second half, as opposed to kind of stalking you. Now she's just barreling towards you. Need to keep my distance long enough for Tish to get her attention.
And this one, Jay wasn't ready for it. But he managed just about to get away. Very nice, Jay. Very nice.
Thank you.
I can do it. Wail on her.
So you really have to have mastered the stuff, like all of her attacks, by the time you win. Well, in this run anyway.
But this is only about your 4th try at second phase, so that's pretty good going, Jay.
That's very kind. I think I don't want
to. I genuinely, it was about 4 or 5.
Well, thank you. Here we go. She's just looking to get her health. Look at her there.
Yeah.
She's like, how many do I have? Okay.
Lovely.
Oh, at this point, I only have 1 health flask and no FP left.
Yeah.
And I was like, Tish, you bitch, do something. I've done my bit. You do your bit.
I called you.
But it was
Good job, man.
It was literally, I was thinking he's going to be maybe 2 or 3 sessions, but no, in an hour, bang, done.
Nice.
There we go.
Well done, sir. Well done.
30 hours of OOC. Yeah. The knowledge gained from taking on Melania.
And I did research for his build. Like I said, Night Comet, Staff of Loss. Just because Staff of Loss boosts invisibility sorceries and she can't dodge it. So I was just,
So that's what I had a session before who came aboard to get all that stuff run around and get that new helmet as well.
Yeah.
There we go. That's for you.
Very nice.
Hey.
Very nice.
Excellent work. She's a fucker.
Cruel mistress.
Yeah.
But hot.
Yeah.
It's all the same. In the dark. Beauty is just one light switch away.
Very good.
I offer you an accord.